It's a little messy in here. We obviously just got back on vacation, so oops, I wanted to get my maybe this clip will work actually. I wanted to set it up like so actually. Maybe this will work. The one that got away. The one. Yeah, it's a bit messy in here, so as you can see, that's not what I want. Let me get my the one. Let me get situated first, and then we'll be good to go. My messy room. We got lots to clean, guys. We still have a few luggages to go through. But you know, one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. So first, we want to get this guy plugged in. There we go. Much better. Excuse me. I still gotta paint this door. One of the dogs I took care of just loved to scratch. Anything. So let me lock that in place. That looks good. Zoidberg. Oh. Okay. Ain't nobody coming. Get that. One sec, guys. Let me get my iPad too, so I can look at this dog. He's still leaning over like that. So you talking about me? Oop. Are you talking about me? Hi, sweet girl. You're so hairy. We're gonna comb you, girl. We gonna comb you, girl. We gonna comb you. Anyways, all right. We're gonna leave it like that. Got a lot to clean. Let me get my iPad, and then we're gonna play. Maybe I'll lift my iPad over here. Oh, perfect timing, Luna. I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna clean up, so you're gonna be out of here, girl. So what? Why? Why am I kicked out? Why am I kicked out? How many times do you hit your head with the ceiling? Too many times. I'll tell you, that's why I'm trying to become a streamer so I can afford to buy a house. I mean, I'm saving up. If I keep saving up, I'll eventually be able to buy a house that I want. Gosh, a while from now. But like this right here, I could hit my head on that. So I'm always like ducking. The upstairs isn't like that. And in my room, the ceiling is a little bit taller too. So it's not too bad. But yeah, we're going to listen to some of these files here. We got some spooky stuff. I don't know if it's spooky, but it might be. It might be. How do I do Bluetooth again? Bluetooth. Yes, good. We're gonna bum bum bum. Let me see. Bluetooth. There it is. Bluetooth. I'm gonna listen to some creepy stuff. You guys ready? Hopefully it works. Come on, Bluetooth. Hey Siri. No. Stop. It's actually Alexa. Put on Bluetooth. I don't see my Bluetooth. I want to connect to Bluetooth. Oh, you know what I'll do actually? I'll put on this TV and connect to the TV. That could work too. Oh yeah, and it's YouTube, so I could just move it onto the TV as well. Duh. This is the 55 Sharp Roku TV. Yeah, I'm cleaning. So basically, I'm just prepping for my job tomorrow. We got a bunch of doggies here, so I'm just chilling. It's a just chat stream right now. That's about it.
66-A, and the one found in the D class after injection, 39.
You guys can listen with me to some files. Oh, we'll just start it over. So my friend sent me this. It's called Exploring the SCP Foundation, SCP-3966 Falling Out is what it's called. It's on YouTube. I've got the link tag below. So yeah, it's just like some, I don't know if it's spooky, but it's just games, politics, travel. No politics today, no games, no travel. I mean, just me cleaning and listening to this this video right here. Let me see if I can put this actually a little bit better so you guys can see what I'm watching. There you go. Maybe that works better right there.
SCP-3966, Falling Out. Sleeping is something a typical human does every single day, usually for hours at a time. Despite this, sleeping and dreaming is still a field of science that is constantly being researched, discovering how our body and mind works while sleeping, new ways to help people fall asleep or get more restful sleep, and the specific science behind dreams. There are a good number of SCP articles related to sleep, ranging from fanciful to simply odd. But SCP-3966 falls firmly in the unsettling category. SCP-3966 is a neuroactive polypeptide found in humans that contains no C-terminus. If you don't understand what that means, as I don't, all you really need to know is that it's an anomalous chemical found in some humans, which brought it to the Foundation's attention. It is found in the cerebrospinal fluid of a high percentage of people that died while sleeping, although not every person, it seems. When discovering an anomalous chemical in dead people, the Foundation first decides to try injecting some of it into the spine of a living D-Class. 11.5 seconds into the process, the D-Class undergoes a sudden withdrawal reflex as their body tries to react to the injection.
I'm 6'4". This is about.
There are no further responses.
My
and
height.
After 30 seconds, the researchers withdraw an equal amount of fluid from the subject to balance things out. The D-Class
old school house in San Francisco.
Falling feeling after being injected, and an EEG reported numbers consistent with stage 1 NREM sleep a second and a half before the D-Class had reacted to the injection. These responses are consistent with a hypnic jerk, an involuntary response when someone is falling asleep and suddenly jerks awake again. More curiously, the chemical analysis of the fluid retrieved from the D-class showed no trace of SCP-3966, but instead a new protein was found, which was determined to be non-anomalous. The only oddity then is how exactly it was formed, and so quickly. Two researchers in charge of the project discussed the results, Pauly and Dr. Argent. The chemistry goes a little over my head, but Dr. Argent basically explains that 3966, which is missing its C-terminus, should be extremely biologically reactive, meaning that it should
Illegal
bind
unit
to pretty
basement?
much any other protein and tear it apart. He expected it to act much more damaging
No,
than it
Yolanda,
did, and
not
he's not
illegal
sure why
unit
it's only
basement.
found in the cerebrospinal fluid. If
This
it's
is all
living and
old
open.
school San Francisco.
It should be able to just punch through the blood-brain barrier, but
We even have
it
the
is,
approval
of
for all
course,
this crap.
anomalous. The second test is done in a petri dish, not a live human, in which some of the 3966 fluid is added to some other proteins, but nothing happens. The third test involves sequencing both the original 3966 chemical, 3966-A, and the one found in the D-class after injection, 3966-B, to find out information about the amino acids in each. Basically, the majority of the 3966-A amino acids are found at the beginning of 3966-B, showing their similarity. But one amino acid at the end of A was unrecoverable after the test. The mass of the sample used also decreased by a small amount after the experiment. Dr. Argent asks researcher Pauly to run the third experiment again, as there was clearly some contamination due to the loss of mass in the end. Pauly apologizes, saying that she's just been really tired lately, not been able to sleep well. She's been trying to take naps, but every time she tries, she almost falls asleep, but then imagines that she's tripping over something and jerks back awake. Whenever she does eventually sleep, she experiences really bad nightmares. Upon hearing that she's been experiencing frequent hypnic jerks, Dr. Argent goes to check on the D-class, who has been complaining of the same thing. He suspects that Pauly might have received a dose of 3966 accidentally, and they proceed to check her cerebrospinal fluid just to make sure. They perform the third test again, but receive the exact same results, ruling out any sort of contamination, but still leaving a mystery as to why the mass of the sample keeps decreasing. They begin comparing the sequence of the amino acids to the human genome, but find that it doesn't match whatsoever, so they look to other species. Dr. Argent suspects that it comes from the environment, but it must somehow be deposited across the blood-brain barrier since it's free of bacteria. He believes it enters the brain at a point deep inside the cerebrum, but it's a difficult place to examine.
Yeah, it's a Shih Tzu. I think you're fine to walk your dog outside. I would just go more during the, when the sun's not beaming, because anything that's over 80 degrees is bad. It's hot for the paws. So I don't think there's anything wrong with walking your dog in a hotter climate, or tropical, that is. But go more towards the evening, dusk, or early in the morning when the sun is just starting to come out. That would be my only tip. Because I don't like to walk my dogs when it's really hot outside. And if it's over 80 degrees, and it's very rare that it gets over 80 degrees in San Francisco, but that's hot for these guys. So, and you probably still can, but still the ground is the more concerning part is the ground. I think they can make it through the heat, but, I would just walk when the sun is more not beaming during the middle of the day, for sure. And should I get another dog to come in? My dog is more familiar with humans than dogs. A lot of people ask that. I personally if you have the capacity to take care of another dog, then sure, but your dog doesn't need another dog, especially if they like humans already. They might just not even really care for the other dog. Now, my dog Carlita, which you guys might, I'm going to keep recording how she interacts. She's 10 years old. And the little puppies that I do take care of that come around, like Elliot Grace, that was here earlier, if you guys watched earlier, she always comes and licks her face and she's like, "Argh." She doesn't really play with the dog, but she does play with Ruby, who she's known for 4 or 5 years. So it takes a while for some other dogs to warm up. But who knows? It depends on your dog. Every dog is so different. Their temperaments are all different. But, what I would do is check how to, the way I started this business is because I wanted another dog for my dog. And I was like, why don't I just take care of dogs and get paid for it and then have a rotation of different dogs that come through. And so if you have the ability to do that, I know I started on a third-party app called Doggy Vacay. Now it's called Rover. Rover bought them. So if there is a Rover or some sort of third-party taking care of dog app, I would do that first. Charge a smaller, lower rate, set your ground rules. Like on the app that I used to use, you could do small, medium, large, larger dogs. So up to you, but I would do some research and see what it takes. First try to see what it takes to board your dog somewhere. And usually if there's an app for that, then you could be part of that app. That's what I would do. So you don't have to dogs get older and eventually we have I'm getting sad thinking about, I hope my dog has another 10, 20 years, but that's not always going to be the case. She's 10 years old. If I can get 8 good more years from her, that'd be a godsend. If I get 20 good years from her, of course I'd be happy with that. But, dogs don't live forever. So the medical expenses and all that, if you have the capacity to own another dog, sure, go for it. But that's a personal choice that we all have to make. I personally don't have the capacity. I can afford another dog, but the time and attention that dogs take, I just personally wouldn't do it. Let's continue.
Polly's cerebrospinal fluid showed no trace of 3966-A, but instead contains the highest concentration of 3966-B found so far, 350% higher than found in other subjects. Polly is, of course, concerned, as she's now a test subject. But while they believe that 3966-A affects humans negatively, they're still not sure what 3966-B does. They're bringing in some human neural tissue to experiment on, but in the meantime, Dr. Argent suggests that Polly try and get some sleep. She's definitely sleep deprived at this point, as she continues to experience hypnic jerks every time she tries to rest. Dr. Argent explains that hypnic jerks are normal, with some scientists thinking that it's evolutionary in nature, stretching back to when humans slept in trees as primates. Dr. Argent also mentions that he had some strange nightmares last night, and asks Polly what she's been dreaming about. She says that her nightmare related to when she was in college and used to dye silk scarves by pouring dye onto water, blowing on it with a straw, and then dipping the...
Should I send my sister to military dog camp? It's 2 years old and still biting. Is that normal? 2 years old and biting. I don't know if you need military dog camp. The technique to get your dog, does your dog bite hard or do they bite soft? Because a little bit of nibble isn't too bad, like if it's playing, but if they're just biting you out of the blue or nipping at your pants, or I would say that's not normal. But Ruby, who we took care of, she was eating socks till about 2 years old. So it's not normal, but you should be curbing the behavior. If they bite you, you want to get them to bite softly, if anything. As long as they're not breaking skin, I would say that's fine. I would still play with my dog aggressively, and dogs' mouths are their hands, so that's how they communicate and, do what they want. So if it's hard biting, you need to go, ow! You need to let the dog know, because since you say you don't really play with, like, doesn't have another dog and likes humans more, you have to be the dog to your dog. So if they're biting on you and it does hurt, even if it doesn't hurt that much, even if it's a soft one, you have to let them know that it hurts you. So they back off more and more and learn how to back off and learn that that pressure is too hard and not okay for you. So instantaneously, if they bite you, ow, and look away and just walk away and turn your back to them. That's what I was told. That's how I was taught. Now, I'm not a professional when it comes to training. I take care of dogs. I love dogs, but I am not technically a trainer of any kind. I have received training, but that does not mean I'm a certified trainer. I can only give you what I was told. Yeah, so that's what I would do. There's different ways to curb the behavior. I do have a pamphlet online that I posted. I don't know if you have Discord, but if you join the Discord, I'm more than welcome to put the link of that pamphlet on there. It's on my Google Photos, but it teaches you like a lot of the step-by-step from the oh my God, the adoption agency. I forget their name now. I'm going blank, but yeah. More than would love to put that up for you. I just don't know. It says you're not supposed to share it. You know, it's not my dog to own, so I'd rather just share it. I wouldn't put it online like that. All right, and continuing, we are listening to some eerie things. My friend sent me. My friend sent me a video of he was at. Let me show you guys what the video was that he showed me, real quick before we continue this. I'm sure he won't mind. He was at the gym.
Bruh, I'm by myself here, and I'm walking around just cooling off after my set, and this shit's fucking moving. There's no one else here, and what the fuck?
So he sent me, paranormal event, and we were talking about fourth dimension. He's like, oh, I know about the fourth dimension. So then he sent over this video. So it's just in the background while I clean. Do I believe in ghosts? I want to say there's something to this life, and my only real experience that I shared with my friend, I was throwing a party here, and in my backyard, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, we both look, for whatever reason, we're in the backyard and we look this way, not this door, but the other door over there, there's two doors to the backyard. We saw this black cloak go into the house. And we both look at each other and I'm like, did you see that? And he's like, yeah, I saw that. Now we had been drinking and all that, but it's still so vivid. When I looked that up, and I've been looking at more paranormal stuff, I can believe it was something. Now, ghost, I just think everything can be scientifically explained, and I'm not saying that was the wind or blah blah. It might be a property that our eyes cannot fathom. So when we talk about ghosts, we might be talking about the fourth dimension, a different plane, something that exists that we can't see. Kind of like air. I can't see air, but I know it's there. I know oxygen and these atoms are all surrounding us to create breathable air for us. So that's how I would explain ghosts. Both. I think aliens for sure exist. For sure have to exist. And if they don't exist, it's because of that theory that once you become super technological, you wipe your whole race out. Kind of like where we're going. We're only a few nukes away from destroying this whole world. So that I can see. There's a lot of ego. So if we can put away our ego, we'll meet aliens. I mean, the United States government said there are aliens, but as millennials, we don't care anymore. So many people just don't care. We've got so many more issues to worry about nowadays, and I think that's how they like it. The elite like it. I don't have time to worry about aliens. I've got to work. But yeah, I would say yes. I believe in both, but I haven't really experienced much of either phenomenon. But I wouldn't discredit anybody's experience. Yeah, so this story is getting pretty good. I'm still trying to figure out where it's going, but it's so far so good.
Scarf into it. In the dream, the designs all came out rather horrific, resembling blood and guts and eyes, as if it were staring up at her.
Hold on.
Then
I'm gonna go back 1 minute just because.
She's definitely sleep. Contains the highest concentration of 3966-B found so far, 350% higher than found in other subjects. Polly is, of course, concerned, as she's now a test subject. But while they believe that 3966-A affects humans negatively, they're still not sure what 3966-B does. They're bringing in some human neural tissue to experiment on, but in the meantime, Dr. Argent suggests that Polly try and get some sleep. She's definitely sleep deprived at this point, as she continues to experience hypnic jerks every time she tries to rest. Dr. Argent explains that hypnic jerks are normal, with some scientists thinking that it's evolutionary in nature, stretching back to when humans slept in trees as primates. Dr. Argent also mentions that he had some strange nightmares last night, and asks Polly what she's been dreaming about. She says that her nightmare related to when she was in college and used to dye silk scarves by pouring dye onto water, blowing on it with a straw, and then dipping the scarf into it. In the dream, the designs all came out rather horrific, resembling blood and guts and eyes, as if it were staring up at her. Then a swarm of spiders started crawling out of the ceiling and started lowering web lines into the water, sucking up all the color. The spiders then proceeded to try and stick their webs onto her to
it's a
suck
scary
up
thing
her
I'm
color,
listening to.
forcing her to flee.
Ian sent it to me, but it's basically it has to do probably with the fourth dimension. Well, I'm chatting with the isn't their name. Are you more of a ghost or aliens? They're just, going with that. I was like, where'd she go? She's on the floor over there. So if you don't want to hear scary stuff, would you mind checking on the washer and dryer for me? Yeah.
She came over to me and started trying to jump on me. Like, what the hell was wrong? Got into you, girl.
Luna, oh yeah, because she's like, why can't I go over here? Because I'm cleaning up, Luna.
Oh God, look at this hair.
Yeah, I know. That's why I dumped all the hair out. Like one day we have to sweep every day when we've got Luna. Let's see. My Shih Tzu likes to lick my legs. Likes to lick metal legs on my table. Does this mean it's lacking in iron? I don't know why dogs lick the things they do. That no, they said it likes to lick the metal legs of their table. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure. Some dogs just like to lick stuff. Maybe there's food particles that fell on it. There could be a million of things. Or, there could just be something on it. But if they do it, who knows? I'm not sure. That one's a mystery. That one's a Google question for sure. Because I don't know. All right, so my strategy here, I'm going to work on this corner, then just mop it real quick, then move this back. We're going in sections with cleaning. I know that nobody cares how I'm cleaning, but just want to let you guys know I go in sections. And I'm going really slow because I've got a lot of hair. So we want to make sure the hair doesn't just fly everywhere. Yeah, because it's already flying back. But yeah, let me get my mop and stuff. Honey, are you over there? You mind getting me the mop and spray? How about biting off leaves and eating soil?
Could be lacking in their bite.
Yeah, that could be a lot. Maybe for as far as soil goes, in San Francisco, a lot of the dogs like to eat the soil because they fertilize it with fish oils. So there could be something in the soil itself, the way it's fertilized. It might have some certain natural ingredients that dogs like. Like I said, at a lot of these parks that use fish oils, and so the dogs I've seen like to lick the dirt. Thanks, darling. Is that a new one or an old one? You mind passing me another from there? Thanks, big booty goddess. Good man. You're cold?
Yeah.
You can go back to bed. Do you want me to put this heater on?
No, I'm gonna go back to the room.
Yeah, get some rest. My poor little honey pie is sick. She's sicky poo.
Yeah, I'll put these close to the
Alright, this shit was getting eerie. This shit was getting eerie.
Dr. Argent's dream was a bit different, also related to his time in college, when he read a comic about a serial killer named The Head, who appeared as a tall, skinny monster with a giant head and big puckered lips, who would stick a metal straw up their victim's nose to suck out their brains. In his nightmare, this creature was chasing him. Interesting to note that both nightmares involve straws and something being sucked out. Their conversation is interrupted by a member of the Foundation's Cognitohazard Monitoring Department, who lets them know that this conversation is being archived, monitored, and analyzed for possible memetic infection. Polly is concerned that they're in trouble, but the individual tells them that they're just taking precautions based on the fact that they both had dreams involving chasing and straws. It may just be a coincidence, but they just want to be safe rather than sorry when it comes to cognitohazards. Dr. Argent tests a sample of 3966-B, the protein that was created after injecting someone with 3966-A.
Okay, when did you realize she was the right one for you, your wife? Give me some tips. I wouldn't say there was a moment that made me realize. I think throughout our, we've been together for 17 years. So with each year we grew. There was times where I didn't know what our journey would be like, but I knew I wanted to work on it with her. She makes me laugh. We used to fight a lot as kids. We both have issues. We met at 17 and we're now 34. So I've known her for half of my life, and I would say probably during the pandemic, I knew she was extremely the one. I already knew I knew I wanted to work on it and be with her for as long as I could, but being able to be with someone, we worked together for hours, probably like 2018, 2019 maybe, so 6-7 years ago. We'd already been together for a good while, but I knew that I can be with her 24 hours a day in, day out, and I enjoy her company. I'm not trying to escape. I'm not trying to oh God, guys, escape. Let's please get me out of this house. I need to leave my wife. No, she's my best friend. I wouldn't say I have any advice. It's just more that you have to work with each other and have open, honest communication. Now, that doesn't mean say everything that's on your mind and be rude and all that, but definitely, you have to be really open with your person, because if you're not open or you don't express how you feel, that's when resentment brews. And I don't have any resentment towards her. I love this woman, love what she's capable of. Are there times she fucking drives me crazy? Of course. Do we both have moments? Yes. But we both know that it's more good than bad, and we try every day, and we've learned to apologize more. So it's just about patience with each other. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
You want any more soup, honey?
No, thank you. I could use some water if you're offering stuff. Honey, how did you know when I was the one?
What do you say?
It's just a lot of work in progress. She's still got to work. There's no chance. You know? She's still got to work, man. We always have to work. Is that the right spot? You gotta just work at it. You know, there's days like when we don't go for like an hour or so talking and we're just bitter. I know that it makes me really sad and like, I hate this woman. And then I'm like, dude, relax. Things are being exaggerated. This woman's been with you forever. You gotta learn how to love. So I don't have advice really, actually.
I think when I just like being with you.
I've been with you too, dear.
I don't want to be away from you.
Yeah, you're my favorite person. I love this woman. She drives me crazy. She makes me laugh. You know why I knew she was the one? She's the only one that can embarrass me. Like, and I don't get embarrassed easily at all. I embarrass myself all the time. So the fact that she can embarrass me, she's amazing. She's crazy. She does some crazy, crazy things. She's fun. She's really fun. Okay, let me fix that real quick.
Feel your love for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me a huggy. Go now.
Yeah.
Thanks for cleaning, sugar.
We need to. Aye! Aye! Oh my!
Do you want the couch cushions covered?
Not yet. I'm gonna vacuum them first. Don't worry about it. But yeah, back to the spooky. But please feel free to ask any more questions. Hang out, and we're just cleaning. And if you aren't cleaning and you need to clean, this is your sign. I hate cleaning, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done, guys. It needs to be done. You know, and that's why I'm streaming. Because right now, I've met my requirement for subs. I appreciate everyone that keeps subbing and tuning in. But I have an hourly goal that I need to get to. The goal to get monetized on YouTube is 4,000 hours. And this streaming counts towards that goal. So, you know, call it what you want. Say you're just taking up air, taking up space on YouTube. But hey, I'm allowed to do that. And I like chatting with you guys. I like watching some things. I need to clean. So it's kind of like the way I started streaming and getting all these followers is because I knew I wanted to work out. So why not stream my workout? I knew I was gonna work out. So I started streaming my workouts. I knew I was going to go walk with my dogs, so I started streaming that. You know, I knew I wanted to play video games, so I started streaming that. So it's just like, I'll stream. If I could stream myself taking a shower, ooh, just kidding. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No OnlyFans for me. But like, you know, just kind of showing all aspects of a regular person doing their regular day lives. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. I just want to share who I am. And also, it's for my own records. When I'm 70, 80 years old, God willing, I live that long or longer, I'd love to see where I came from, where I was living. Because when I don't have much video or footage when I was a child. And this is all a phase in life. I don't plan on being here for 50 years. So it's going to be fun looking back at my own history. That's why I do this. If anyone's curious of why are you streaming yourself cleaning, because I don't think I'm gonna do this dog business forever. And like all this hair that's everywhere, the fact that I have to change these sheet covers all the time, that's not forever. I hope. You know, I do love taking care of dogs, but I'd like to. Really, my passions are music and acting. I'd love to get back into acting, but this is my way of life right now. I know, I can go into theater. I can probably go to some random theater and try out and be in the play and do all that and not get paid. But I don't have, it's not that I don't have the ability to do that. I don't think I have the capacity to dedicate hours of my time to something that's not going to provide income for me. I think it would just stress me out, especially because I'm trying to have a baby with this beautiful wife of mine, you know. So, how do you see yourself in 10 years? How do I see myself in 10 years? Well, if everything goes well, I see myself streaming content like this in my own home, a ceiling that is at least a foot taller than me, which would be 7 feet. I would hope it's 8 feet tall at least, so I could raise my arms up. I see myself with a child traveling a lot, and I don't know. I want to get into acting, so I see myself as an actor, and I think this is the stepping stone to get there. I want to be in the movies. I'm not really much of a play actor. I did do a bunch of plays in high school and all that, and I did do some acting about 10 years ago, and then I got into the bar industry and started drinking and and kind of went off course. But I learned a lot, and so I'm really happy with my experiences. I see myself as Pedro Pascal in the future, if that makes sense. I just want to act. I want to create. I want to be in the entertainment. I want... fart on a cactus. I don't have a cactus, and I don't have gas right now. But when I do have gas, I'll fart on a Christmas tree for you. Maybe. Here's a Christmas tree. Anywho, so that's where I see myself in 10 years. Doing the same thing I'm doing now, but the bigger audience. I hope I can still individually give time to people, because I do think we should be able to communicate in a good aspect. And, and I really appreciate you coming through, and a lot of other, I've been getting a lot of more regulars coming to the stream, and it's been fun to get to know you guys, to just conversate, and yeah, so that's where I see myself. So, but feel free to keep asking questions.
And tries injecting it into some neural tissue.
We're almost done with this creepy story. I know it's creepy. I like it. It's been fun.
-A, and tries injecting it into...
What do I think of Andrew Tate? Honestly, I'm not a fan at all. I don't know much about him, but what I have seen, I think there's a big rise on... I don't like the word toxic masculinity. I think there's a big rise in fragile masculinity. I think there's a lot of huffing and puffing going on. I am happy to see that men are showing more emotion, but I think blaming women or trying to define these traits of what a man and woman are supposed to be is futile, and I don't think people should put themselves in boxes. We're always trying to put ourselves in a small little box. A small box. I am this little tiny thing. So small. I'm a butcher, and that's it. I'm a bicyclist. Nothing more. And you asked about religion and politics. Even that, you put yourself in this small bubble. I'm Republican, Democrat. I'm right-wing, left-wing, centrist. It's bizarre to me. I feel like I have equally amounts of so many different influences. So I have different stances, but to just be like, it's like sports. I understand if I'm a Niner fan or Giants fan. I'm from San Francisco. That makes sense to put yourself in that box as a fan. But I love the sport and more than I love my team. Like, I enjoy the whole aspect of it, and I think people need to start taking lots of steps back. There's good and bad with everything. A red pill movement, it's just silly. It's just jargon. It's just regurgitated stuff. I'll be honest, I am left wing, if you want to put me in a box, But I have right-wing friends that I talk to all the time, and there's things that the PC culture and this. I think we got to stop telling people how the fuck to live, how they should live on both sides. Whether you're gay or you're a religious nut or you're a simp or you can't get women or whatever it might be, we really need to take a step back because I don't care enough. I think people care too fucking much about what other people are doing. It has no effect in my life at all what you do. What you do, your personal choices, doesn't affect my life. And when it does, then I might care. But as long as you don't touch me physically, you can say anything you want to me. I think we do need to grow a backbone. You can call me whatever the hell you want, whatever name you want. If you want to say some racist stuff, go for it. It says more about your character than mine. I personally am not going to engage in a back and forth. I'll laugh. I think things are funny. I think people are crazy. How have you changed as a person and mindset from high school to today? I was more of a bully in high school. I've always been an asshole, but I make fun of things. It's just what I do. It's a defense mechanism. So how have I changed? I've tried to be more understanding. I worked at a gay bar, right? And I've learned a lot as working security. I even did bar backing because they made good tips. But let me tell you, there's a Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco, and it was my first time working it. And this fair is 18 and up. And there's like leather everywhere. There's things going on. Outside of my bar, there was a guy against the wall, a white man, getting whipped like brutally. Like I saw it look not good by a black gay man. It was a white gay man and a black gay man. And I was like, oh my God. It was like, like I was petrified. So I go into my bar and I say, do you know there's someone outside getting like brutally whipped? And my bar staff goes, he likes it. And so my mind went, okay, some people like cigarettes and some people like getting whipped brutally. Everyone's got a kink. I don't kink shame. Do you? It's not for me, but do you? So where's my mindset change? I used to be very judgy. I still am judgy. I still judge things, but I take another step back and go, okay, not for me, good for you. So that's where I've changed. It is crazy. It was fucking nuts. But hey, it's a crazy world we live in. Some people would say dunking a baby in water and baptizing them is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's crazy to us, nothing's normal, and that's what we need to break down in this society. Is nothing is normal. Nothing will ever be normal. You're not normal. I'm not normal. The way I do something is not the way you do something. So we just kind of, me and my wife have particular ways that we like to do certain things. And we've noticed that we try to correct each other, but there's no correcting. If she washes dishes, if she decides to soap all the dishes up first and then rinse them out and put it away, great. I personally like to do one by one. There's no wrong or right way. There definitely probably is a better way to save water or whatever. There's probably is a more functional way, but it's still personal choice, no matter what. You think me being bullied? Yeah, because I was bullied by my older brothers and stepbrothers. I'm the youngest of 5. So I knew how to be a bully. I knew how to, if someone talks shit to me, instant talk shit, I'll make you fucking cry faster than me because I've already heard it all. I was name called plenty. I was called Chub Rock when I've got a couple little ones. I was playing basketball one time with my brother And he's like, number titty 2 to the free throw line. I used to get made fun of hardcore by my brothers. So when I did engage bullies, there was no bullies. I was a popular kid. I knew how to punk people, and I'm likable. No one was going to bully me. I was outspoken. I knew how to talk shit. I was always chunky, but I was a class clown because I knew how to make people laugh. Bully. Please. I was an asshole. This one kid in Nyack, I'm pretty sure I hope he's doing well, but we bullied the shit out of him. We had 3 classes with them for 2 years straight. One time, like my friend threw a pencil at him, and he wouldn't give it back, so he threw the pencil at him, and my friend got up and slapped him in the face in the middle of class because he wouldn't give the pencil that he threw at him. We used to fucking clown on this guy all the time. I mean, we were fucking pretty much racist too. Everyone was fucking racist in 2005. We would say racist jokes left and right. It was our culture. Like, it was just so fucked up. But I've changed. That's how I've changed. As a former bully, do you believe they should have been bullied? The people being bullied, should they be bullied? No. I think, well, some kids, that's a tough one. I don't think anyone deserves to be treated poorly anymore. I think I go easy on people now more because I feel for people. Like, and the thing is, I'm always going in between feeling sorry and like, fuck you. Like I told Joanna, my wife, don't feel sorry for anyone because no one feels sorry for you. And we shouldn't feel sorry for people. Like, it's the fucking worst thing. Nobody's a charity case. I'm not going to feel sorry. I'm done. I do want to feel sorry for people, but honestly, we got to stop that mindset. I ain't no fucking Cap to save a hoe. I'm not I'm not America, Team America, going in into a third world country to save them. It's stupid. Let people save them goddamn selves, man. Ugh. What are the odds your wife is having an affair right now? 0, brother. Absolutely 0. The foundation we built our love on, it's 0. Plus I track her. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's 0. There's no chance in hell. Maybe 10 years ago, when we were young and stupid, but we just got married. We know we're the right ones for each other. We're done. Everyone's fucking boring to us. You have to be extremely amazing. And the thing is, we're not impressed by anyone at all. Like, everyone, it doesn't matter if you're a famous superstar, you're still just a fucking regular person that eats and shits. So once you start getting rid of idolism and stop caring about idols and stop worshiping people, you start seeing people in a different light. And most people have issues, and most people are fucking dumb. Like, straight up, I'm fucking dumb. But most people are just as dumb. Doesn't matter if they got a college degree, doesn't matter if they won a Nobel Peace Prize, they're still fucking dumb. Look at our leaders. Look at all the leaders we have. They're all fucking dumb. All of them. So, no. How to tell if someone have repented. It's not repent. I don't think you can make up anything in this world. What happened. There's no making up for shit. You just move on with your life. That's it. I'm not here to apologize for what I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I've done some shady shit. What I can do is show you that I'm trying to be a better person now. But repent, I don't expect anyone to change drastically and try to be someone else. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole for life. You can try to be better, but you're always going to have those thoughts. As I try to tell someone, let's see. Would you ever have a threesome with your wife? No, I don't think I got the skills to get that going on, and I'm not sharing my wife with anyone. Not yet, we're not bored yet. We're having a good time. So maybe when we're like, who knows what 10 years looks from now? Maybe we'll want to spice things up, but at the moment, we're pretty private when it comes to our life like that. So no, and I'm good. I'm sorry, I don't really care for other women or other partners to play around with. Like I said, people don't really impress me. I'm more than satisfied with her appearance and what she offers. So yeah, chances low. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm not sharing her with another guy. I just, it's not for me. No, thank you. I don't want to be rubbing balls on another guy. I don't even want to see my friends' dicks, all right? I don't want to see anyone's dick, to be honest. I watch gay porn. No, I'm trying to think of what I saw recently. Not recently in the porn, but there was a meme. I'd rather watch a chick with a dick fuck a woman than a guy fuck a woman because at least it's less gay. What? If you guys go to my Instagram page, I reposted the meme. I thought it was hella funny. He's like, it was just an argument in an anime. He's like, chicks with dicks, dude, that's not gay. It's more gay to see a guy's hairy asshole than a chick with a dick. It's like, no, I'm not willing to share my wife at all, ever. No, not at all. Not at all. That's my wife. In this world where we share everything, that's the one thing I find sacred. As much as, I do think, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm okay if you have a polyamorous relationship and all that. That's great, but it's not for me. I've been with one lady. That's my lady. That's who I want for the last 17 years. Have there been moments? I worked at a bar, and I was really chunky, so I got really fit, and I got a lot of attention. I was a fool of myself. Did I think I could do better? Yeah, but there is no better. Once you start to get to know people, they fucking suck. I'm telling you guys, everyone needs to calm the fuck down with, I think I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. Bitch, there's no such thing as better. It's a perception of your mind. Like, just find what's good for you. Stop searching so hard. I found what's good for me. She's good for me. I'm more than happy. It's not settling. It's knowing that there's a lot of shit out there. Everyone comes with baggage. So no matter how beautiful someone is, they got fucking issues. She can handle my issues. Find someone that can deal with your ass. Stop trying to search for something. Not everybody's gonna want to deal with your ass. That's my number one advice. Find someone that loves you for you, and you found yourself a fucking dime. Because let's be real, you're not perfect, and your insecurities show. You know there's something wrong with yourself. There's always something wrong with ourselves. So for someone to love those wrong parts of you, that's what makes a great relationship. How many minutes she'd been with? She had one other boyfriend in high school. I mean, really, she's only the one I've only had ever in my life, and that's okay with me. People ask, you sure you don't want to experience the world? I have. I've gotten so much attention from other women, from men, and no fucking thank you, all right? And you can call me sad, you can have whatever opinion you want about me, but I feel blessed. I feel very lucky. Yeah, that's it. Very, very lucky. I'm very fortunate. All right. Knocking this down, guys. Knocking this down. One sec, guys. I need a good attachment for my vacuum. But, guys, you're asking the wrong questions here. How many guys has she been with? How many this and that? That's a non-factor, guys. Why are you worried about the past? You should always be focused towards the future. You should always be like, it's irrelevant. knowing that information, and it doesn't do anything for you except what? Create jealousy, create insecurities. Like, ooh, was the other guy better? Like, you're only fucking yourself worried about someone else's past history. Sure, there's probably people they loved and all that stuff. So if you're looking for a partner, don't worry about the count. Oh, what's your count? What's your count? It's very young-minded to think that way. So that's one thing I can leave you with. If she had 5 kids before, how to tell if a woman is for the streets? Your kids, man. All women nowadays are for the streets. That's it, bruh. All the women are for the streets unless you got one back in the day like I did. Every woman is for the streets, boy. So good luck. You're going to get yourself a nice street chick. That's okay. They're all for the streets. All men are for the streets, bro. We're all hoes. Everyone I know is a fucking hoe. All hoes. Every single one. Every single one is a fucking hoe. So it's okay. Be hoish. Enjoy your life. Go fuck. Just don't get an STD. Wrap it up. Don't get an STD. And then that's how the ones for the streets, I mean, even if you got an STD, hey, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just saying try not to. Try not to. It's probably not good for you. One sec, guys. I gotta get an attachment. You know, my biggest advice for you guys, if you see something doesn't belong somewhere, put it the fuck away. Or else you look like an idiot like me, spending hours trying to find something that should be right there. Alright. I won't get into those details because that's personal. There's no reason to. And I'm not that kinky, so I'm not that kinky, not that freaky. So it's actually a boring story. So next question, fellas. Guess I gotta use this. Where the hell that attachment went? I was trying to watch this creepy stuff, but you guys were going on and on and on. My guess is a scat fetish. How did you know? I love me some poopy. My first time, I laid down and they took a nice squat over me and just straight all over my chest, smeared it all over. put a little on my face, maybe ate a little bit of it, and then I jizzed all in the air. Not even in no vagina, no nothing. Just that was my first time losing it. Scat fetish. No, you're fine. You don't have to apologize. It's just there's some things I'll answer, some things I won't, guys. I'm still still got my own personal stuff, guys. You guys tell me how you lost your virginity. You guys are free to chat. I think white sheets. All right, we gotta do some double sheets. We got a big day tomorrow with dogs coming over. Megan! Oh my God, you're still in the hospital? Okay, well, Megan, I'm going to tell you right now, these two guys in the chat, they're a little inappropriate. Hopefully, you won't be too disgusted with them. We're being a little inappropriate here. I feel for you. Are you feeling better at least? That is the question. And like I said, dating advice, I have none. Seeing as I've been with one woman for the last 17 years, I don't have much advice for you guys. Zero, except...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
See? Even she don't know how to help you guys with that. What I will say is, be patient. I don't know what the girls like nowadays, guys. It's a little rough for men right now. Our stock is really dwindling. Especially when you guys ask questions like that, you know? How about, okay, let's not ask these questions when we're on dates. That would be the first tip. Let's try to be gentlemen. When you asked about Andrew Tate and all that, I don't think that's the person to get advice. I mean, it just depends. It depends what kind of woman you want. There's right-leaning women, left-leaning women. I mean, it really depends on who they are. So it's not about dating advice. It really depends on what type of person you're looking for. So are you looking for someone that's going to challenge you? Are you looking for someone that's going to conform to your ideas? Are you looking for... You need to figure out what you want and what's going to make you tick. I didn't know Joanna was going to be the one for me, but it happens because we are different and we are similar. There's a lot of differences, a lot of similarities, but yeah, not much advice. I am not feeling better because I can't stop throwing up and crying nonstop. I'm really sad. It's okay to cry nonstop. Is it okay to cry nonstop? You are more than welcome to cry nonstop. I would say, yeah, it's okay to cry nonstop. Especially if you're devastated. You have a bunch of, like you said, you have a bunch of nails in you or screws in you. I'd be crying too. I really don't wish anyone to be in your position, and I wish you a faster recovery than it's been, because it's been almost a week, it feels like. So, ouch. Ouch, guys. Poor Megan. She got injured, and I just want a woman that loves me. And that's the challenging part, guys. Finding someone that's going to love you. And that's why I married this woman, because she loves me for all my craziness. I'm crazy. Like I just said the other day, like when my stepmom dies and this dog that lives upstairs that I don't like dies, I'll probably do a little tap dance. She's like, you can't say that, Vicente. That's so wrong. I said, why? Somebody probably can't wait till I die. And they're like, I was saying, actually, Seinfeld moment. I was like, probably some of the kids that I bullied are like, just like, I ruined their lives. I don't know if I ruined their lives. I haven't checked up on them. But I bet when I die, they'll be like, oh, good fucking riddance. I don't think there's anything you can say in this world. It doesn't matter if it's respectful, rudely. Your feelings are how you feel. And that's how I feel. I don't care When my stepmom dies, good fucking riddance. The planet will be a better place without her. She's a fucking horrible bitch. Okay, no, I don't want to use the bitch because now I just sound like an asshole. But she's a horrible, horrible person. She's an asshole, horrible. She's like one of those evil stepmothers in Disney. Horrible, worse than that. Anywho. Back to it. The doctor said that I have nerve damage and I'm not allowed to do gymnastics anymore and I can't walk anymore. It is absolutely okay to cry out your tears to start. Just because it's an ending of a chapter in your life doesn't mean there's not a beginning one. Remember, life is all about phases, and that's very devastating. Absolutely, extremely devastating. For something that you do to be taken away from you unjustly, there is no advice I have to say, but you being alive is a testament on that you will overcome this and figure out what you can do, what else it is that makes you tick. And just because you can't do gymnastics anymore, man, it's devastating. I don't want to do a positive spin because right now, fuck that positivity. Cry it away. I'd be devastated too. But if I am going to throw a positive spin to it, you're alive, you're young, and you still have plenty of time to figure out what you will be able to do. And just because a doctor says you can't, doesn't mean it's true all the time. Now, obviously, it might be, but you just don't, the body is capable of so much, and you're capable of so much with therapy, with persistence. I know you'll be able to overcome this moment. So even though you don't see a light at all and everything seems dark and probably not worth it, hang in tight, get through this pain. It's going to be an adjustment. When my wife was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, she's still adjusting to that. So, and she cries, she still cries. Cry it out. Take the time you need. Trey guy, I don't ban people, man. Look, you're looking for a place to talk. You're looking for a place to be yourself. Be yourself. I say crazier shit than you do, dude. I just haven't come out to that point yet. I'm trying to find my groove in this chat or this streaming world, but I don't want to ban people. I want people to say all the outlandish things. The only thing I ask is you can be perverted, you can be disgusting, but let's tone down the racist shit. I think we can make fun of each other. You can be like, you're balding, and you can make fun of my physical traits, but I think like racism is just super played out. I was 17 and younger. I used to say a lot of racist shit in my past because I didn't understand the gravity of it until I started talking to more of my friends. I'm Mexican. I know I look white, but talking to more people about it, I wrote a song that included a lot of racist words because I didn't think words mattered. I was like, call me a spick, call me whatever the fuck you want. But I realized that it does impact people. And so since it has an impact, we have the choice on how we impact others. So why do we want to be, I don't know, why? What good does it do to be racist? I don't know. What good, I can insult you in a better way instead of attacking your race, I'd rather insult you for your whatever looks you have. You got beady eyes. I'd rather start I told Joanna, if you really want to hurt someone, attack their family first. Attack their family. That's the best way to go. Oh, what? Daddy didn't love you? Oh, yeah, your sister's fucking ugly. Or say something stupid. Start with their family. Why? Because one of them is he's like, I'm surprised you haven't banned me from the chat yet. I said, I don't ban people. Why am I not talking about it? It's my chat.
Asking how it got brought up. So, little kid wants attention or what?
Yeah, little kid wants attention. See, look, my wife's saying, little kid wants attention. Yeah, I am Mexican. I am Mexican and Nicaraguense. My dad is a 6'3" Mexican, and my mom is a 5'3" half Mexican, half Nicoya lady. Yeah. See, you learn something new all the time, right, guys? Why are you talking about that? I'm just keeping the chat going. Megan joined in, and with some very devastating news. She won't be able to do gymnastics or walk. Huh?
We haven't touched her switch yet to add them, but we will.
No, Megan, the one that broke her foot.
Oh, Megan.
She won't be able to walk or do gymnastics again.
Forever?
Forever, dear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh at you, Megan, but Joanna's reaction is just like, damn. Yeah, it is damn. I guess since we're older, shit like that happens and you just kind of got to roll with the punches. I know you've been going through a lot, Megan. And yeah, Trey, you can have the attention. Get your attention. I'm actually not looking for attention. I'm just looking for money. I'll be honest with you guys. I really appreciate you guys being here because it's helping my view time go up. So please continue to stay, continue to ask things. Megan, I was listening to some scary story stuff, but then these guys were talking. I can try to get your mind off this stuff, but there's not much else I can say except it fucking sucks. Cry it out. Cry again. And start thinking about, take your time. It might take a few years, to be honest. But if you don't want to waste time, start thinking about the things you enjoy, the other things you enjoy. You still got 2 hands, right? You still got a working brain. You got working eyes. You've got a mouth. You've got a lot of things that do work in your favor. One leg is really fucked up. I don't know how the other leg is, but life's not over. Your life is not over. All right. It sometimes feel like it is. Like, I could be moaning and weeping and not trying to change my life. And please, I'm not saying it's not, you moan and weep. Deservedly so. You deserve to moan and weep. Like, I'd be fucking crying right now if that happened to, like, that's devastating. But life likes to challenge us, and it likes to really fuck with certain people. So, this is your challenge. What are you going to do? You don't need to answer that now, but start pondering about it. And please get yourself a journal or something to write down how you feel, process this out, and figure out what the next chapter of Megan's life is going to be. Because, Megan, your life's not over. Fuck, of course it sucks. Kind of sucks. Not even kind of. It fucking majorly sucks, Trex. Is it Trex? Trex guy? Trex, it fucking sucks. It's more than fucking sucks. It's fucking devastating. How long is it going to take me to clean this room, guys? My wife's going to be like, midnight. She's like, can you go to fucking bed? All right. I'm chatting a little too much. No, it's fine. I'm here to chat with you guys. Fucking Megan, that shit is just so rough. That story right there. Megan, I'm going to read your story out loud. I was at my gymnastics recital last Saturday at 4 p.m. and the trampoline broke on me and my bones came out of my skin and had emergency surgery and I'm 18 years old. Megan, you're 18, you're young, you've got a whole life ahead of you. no matter what age that would have happened at, it would be devastating. But it's not the end of your story, okay? Please understand it's not the end of your story. I hate that you're stuck in the hospital, but there will be rehab. There will be things to help you along the way. I hope you have a good support system, and if not, guys, are we back? Let me plug in this phone. Are we back? Are we back? I'm so sorry. This is where I was recording it, guys. Sorry. My little dog phone died. Let me take that out, and then I'll bring a charger over here. Sheet. Right? Right? Are we back, guys? Double check. Are we back? Tell me, are we back? Are we back? Oh, God, are we back? Yes? No? Maybe so? Come on. Come on. I think we're back, guys. Are we back? Guys, talk to me, guys. Are we back? I am so sorry about that. Let me get a charger so my phone doesn't die again. Everybody's like, wait, why did it die? I was getting good. Sorry, guys. Sorry. We good? Yes, great. Let's go. Let's do this. Let me plug in this nice switch charger. Look at this. This nice switch charger over here. Okay, here's my... These aren't my flowers. They're actually my lady's flowers. I would call them mine. She did buy them for me, but she takes care of them. You know what it's like? It's like I'm like the stepdad of these plants. Or like, you know when you buy... I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Hold on.
Not a good analogy.
You know? Oh, quiet you. You were not even supposed to be in the same room as me. I was having me time right now. Thank you for joining my stream, Joanna. All right, guys, here we go. I'm plugged in. It's not going to die. We're all here together. We're here with Megan. We've got thoughts and prayers, and not just thoughts and prayers, but actions, guys. That's what matters here is we're trying to help. I mean, is that pot? No, I do have weed, though. You want to see my good weed? I do smoke, usually on the daily. But I gotta clean. What am I doing? You gotta clean. You're gonna make your wife mad at you. She already is. I can tell she's over me. She's over me. I'm gonna lose her, guys. She's gonna go she's gonna go find another man. If I don't hurry up and clean. Yeah. All right. So we've got one section done cleaning. Let's keep it moving. Move this table over here real quick. Megan she did surgery like literally Saturday or like Sunday early morning. So she's still going through it. What a trooper. What a trooper. You guys, like I said, I'm going to buy you a new leg, Megan. Life isn't over. Once I got Mr. Beast money, that is. I can't. But for real though, you know, suing them or finding or making sure that an investigation happens of what the failed equipment did will help you out strongly because you do have a big case against them.
Yeah, because it'll give you closure, find out what happened, but you know, they can also pay for your medical expenses.
How much do I know about the SCP Foundation? I don't know much, but I'm trying to watch it, but then we got sidetracked talking, and my friend's been showing me a few videos. He sent me 3. I was going to watch 3 on this stream, but the chat got so active. I was really curious about... and also, it's really eerie, but I watched the Y-Files. I don't know if you guys know what the Y-Files are, but it's a great YouTube channel. I really like it and enjoy it. And it's been... but please tell me more about it if you can. How much you think she can get for a lawsuit? A fucking shitload, that's for sure. I would think so. Dang, bro. Brain surgery? 11 hours? Woo! All I know is I'm ready to learn more about the SCP Foundation because I don't even know what the SCP Foundation is, but definitely the case files are super interesting. I like it a lot. It's not fanfic. Is it fanfic or like what? I don't know. Director Sherman on you? Like I said, I don't know much about anything, but that sounds like a bad reference, though. I don't think I want Director Sherman on me at all. Director Sherman sounds like an evil person. Good, Megan. They better. I mean, yeah, that's the first step. I think it's the first step for sure. Okay. We've got one section done. We're going to be cleaning up the second section right now. Taking forever. But that's okay, guys. And that's the least I think. Suing them's not going to fix your leg. But like Joanna said, it will... I'm from Site 42. Okay, I don't know anything. You're scaring me now. But yeah, let me get my friend. I gotta tell old Boyle to get in here. So he knows he can defend me. Let me get my friend in this chat. Messenger. Please join YouTube chat. Chat. I'm gonna say, please join YouTube chat. Someone says they're gonna get Director Sherman on me. And then they work for Site 42. I don't like it. I don't like where this is going, but he knows all about it. Someone says they're... Hold on one sec. They're gonna get Director Sherman on me. And they work for Site 42. You're making this more entertaining, but yeah, let's get back to our life, guys. Also, the left side of my face is paralyzed. I'm sorry to hear that, huh? But I'm sure you may do. I'm sure you've learned to manage your life. That's what we have to do. And unfortunately, all we can do is continue to adjust. That's all we can do. Okay. And once again, don't feel like your life is over. It's just a different stage, Megan. Taking care of the gym, and she's going to sue them. She's going to get a lawyer. Where are you at, Megan? Where did this happen again? What location, city, state, or if it's out of this country, what country? I would think America. I feel like it's America because America fucking sucks, and we do everything half-assed, and this happens quite a bit. Okay, if this is how this is gonna go, I bet you're let me put on something in the background, right, guys? Or are you guys okay with silence or no music? So the thing about this video, there is no central. Let me see what my guy said real quick, so I know more about the SCP. Doom. So the thing about SCP Foundation is there's no central canon. It's just loose collection of articles and tales and collaborative shared universe. That being said, I'm not familiar with Dr. Sherman or Site 42. Uh-oh. There's some big boss stuff then. Exactly. Exactly. You know who wins? The health insurance company wins all the time. All the time. And that's why Luigi did what Luigi does. Mario's brother went to go do some Koopa hunting. We're in an awful place where we can joke about murder pretty easily, guys. But that's where we're at in life. That's where we're at. Unfortunately. So I know we're still chatting. But I want to watch this video too, guys. Is that okay? Would that be okay? Let me see. I gotta charge this phone real quick too. Let me get my laptop. That's what I need to get my laptop. Be right back, guys. Be right back. Whew, my laptop's in a frozen tundra. All right, so let me pull this up so I can play that video there we go. Couldn't get chat via Safari. I had to get on the YouTube app. Nice. I'm a friend who introduced him to the SCP Foundation. Are you the guy? Are you the guy? You are being watched. Yeah, let me go put that. That's what I want to watch. So, hold on, guys. That's the one I was watching. We're about 8 minutes into it. We're gonna put this on. Not to take away from anything, I think we're just pivoting. I had nightmares and can't sleep at night for many nights after my surgery. Well, that's interesting because the video we're watching does have to deal with nightmares. And I'm really sorry about that. God, I can imagine. What were do you recall what your nightmares were about? Or did you kind of suppress those thoughts? Alright, we're going to get this section done real quick. And once again, while we're looking at the chat, we're going to play this thing. I'm going to mirror. Oops, I picked the wrong thing to mirror to. I'm mirroring to this one, actually. We got it on. It's coming up. Yes, that's where we're at right now. That's exactly what the chat is about, Cabzor. That's we are trauma dumping. We are talking about the SCP Foundation. Is it SCP? Am I saying that right? And Megan, we met Megan last week while we were on vacation, and she is going to be suing the gym that she got injured at. She's a gymnast, and she will not be able to walk ever again. Or do gymnastics, but I think the walking part is probably the bigger issue. So, yeah. I have a lot of nightmares about my surgery, and I saw a ghost in my surgery. Wow, I think we're all ready to watch this. I don't know if I should play it from the top, but it's very, very on cue, on point with what this video is about. I think we can even start at the 5-minute mark where we left off, because it starts talking about the nightmares. Now, I don't think this is going to comfort anyone, but maybe it will, knowing that others experience these horrible things. Maybe. I don't know. Special containment procedures. Oh no, I think he's telling me. Yeah, I'm really sorry about the nightmares. I'm sure, and also with the lack of sleep you're getting, the lack of food you're eating, I'm sure your whole body's going through this shock of not like just this hunger, and so it's probably sending all these different shock waves through your head and brain, all of that. So we're gonna start with 5 minutes. You guys keep on chatting. I'll address the chat maybe every 30 seconds so we can get some of the clips going.
Results, ruling out any sort of contamination, but still leaving a mystery as to why the mass of the sample keeps decreasing. They begin comparing the sequence of the amino acids to the human genome, but find that it doesn't match whatsoever, so they look to other species. Dr. Argent suspects that it comes from the environment, but it must somehow be deposited across the blood-brain barrier since it's free of bacteria. He believes it enters the brain at a point deep inside the cerebrum, but it's a difficult place to examine. Polly's cerebrospinal fluid showed no trace of 3966-A, but instead contains the highest concentration of 3966-B found so far, 350% higher than found in other subjects. Polly is, of course, concerned, as she's now a test subject. But while they believe that 3966-A affects humans negatively, they're still not sure what 3966-B does. They're bringing in some human neural tissue to experiment on, but in the meantime, Dr. Argent suggests that Polly try and get some sleep. She's definitely sleep deprived at this point, as she continues to experience hypnic jerks every time she...
So this is where this story gets interesting, but yes, get a second opinion, Megan. Now that Kazwar's here, I'm sure he can also speak on some of that stuff. And I gotta make this man. Let me see, how do I make you add as moderator? Hello. Sorry guys, Kazwar special. There you go. So don't ban my good old friend Trex. There's gonna be weirdos that come in all the time. Kazar, let them say, as long as it's not racist, they're good to go. They can be weird, perverted. They can say, shake that ass. They can say, drink pee. I don't care what they say. But as long as it's not, that's my one rule. Just keep that shit up. Keep that shit up. Wherever, keep it where the fuck you want to keep it, but don't put it here. That's it. Whoa, my whole UI changed. All right, so this is where the story was getting really interesting. So if you guys want to hear, it was getting a little freaky about the dreams they're having. So we're going to get into their nightmares, and the nightmares were giving me goosies.
As she continues to experience hypnic jerks every time she tries to rest. Dr. Argent explains that hypnic jerks are normal, with some scientists thinking that it's evolutionary in nature, stretching back to when humans slept in trees as primates. Dr. Argent also mentions that he had some strange nightmares last night and asks Polly what she's been dreaming about. She says that her nightmare related to when she was in college and used to dye silk scarves by pouring dye onto water, blowing on it with a straw, and then dipping the scarf into it. In the dream, the designs all came out rather horrific, resembling blood and guts and eyes, as if it were staring up at her. Then a swarm of spiders started crawling out of the ceiling and started lowering web lines into the water, sucking up all the color. The spiders then proceeded to try and stick their webs onto her to suck up her color, forcing her to flee. Dr. Argent's dream was a bit different, also related to his time in college, when he read a comic about a serial killer named The Head, who appeared as a tall, skinny monster with a giant head and big puckered lips, who would stick a metal straw up their victim's nose to suck out their brains. In his nightmare, this creature was chasing him. Interesting to note that both nightmares involve straws and something being sucked out. Their conversation is interrupted by a member of the Foundation's Cognitohazard Monitoring Department.
I don't know if you guys heard that story, Little Goosies, about how they both had straws and it was like really eerie. And as far, Megan, you can't get another opinion from another surgeon because they're the ones who fixed me. I think they mean check with another doctor, like out of your check with another like hospital. I think you can do that. You should be able to, but you're young. I'm not knowledgeable either, but maybe someone in the chat can speak on this. But when you get another opinion medically, how do you go about that? Anyone in the chat? If anyone knows, please go on. I'm sure it's a Google search away, but I'm not going to Google it right now as I'm cleaning. But you should. There's always a second opinion. I think there should be. But I'm going to continue the story.
Member of the Foundation's Cognitohazard Monitoring Department, who lets them know that this conversation is being archived, monitored, and analyzed for possible mimetic infection. Polly is concerned that they're in trouble, but the individual tells them that they're just taking precautions based on the fact that they both had dreams involving chasing and straws. It may just be a coincidence, but they just want to be safe rather than sorry when it comes to cognitohazards. Dr. Argent tests a sample of 3966-B, the protein that was created after injecting someone with 3966-A, and tries injecting it into some neural tissue retrieved from a D-class. Simplifying some of the science, Dr. Argent concludes that 3966-B is not causing the hypnic jerks, and is likely an inactive protein. Injecting a sample of 3966-A into the neural tissue, however, results in cell death within seconds and a large change in the mass of the tissue sample. This perplexes the doctor, as he's certain there were no leaks involved in the test, but that would mean that the neurotransmitters and ions in the sample simply vanish. In another experiment, in which the doctor attempts to use a modeling program to model how the two proteins specifically interact with one another, the modeling program ends up crashing. Apparently, it produced an output that made no sense, causing the number.
All right, so let's get back to the chat real quick. So, you should research online for any agency that will help you search for a surgeon. I bounced around a few hospitals over the past couple of years. The doctors generally advise against it for record-keeping purposes, but it's also for money purposes too. Makes sense. Also, something I'll have to explain. Memetics and cognitive hazards and D-class to you at some point. Kind of threw that in the deep end with this video. For now, you should be resting, Megan. Dude, we have tons of D-class. Thinking about it will cause you stress. Yeah. That's great advice. Megan, you're young. You're overwhelmed with dealing with your pain, your hunger, all that. I think this is all just food for thought. I'm glad you made it in the chat, and I'm glad we have such helpful members in here to steer in the right direction. But definitely focus on resting. I know what it's, I think it must be pretty late over there. It's like 1 a.m. or so. God, it must be hard to rest if you're throwing up. All right, let me backtrack that video a little bit.
Crashing. Apparently, it produced an output that made no sense, causing the numbers to go haywire. Confused by the nature of this anomaly, Dr. Argent contacts his sister, Cordelia, a fellow researcher at the Foundation. He sends her the SCP document to have her look over the situation, and she notices that the SCP is being monitored by the Cognitohazard Monitoring Department, which concerns her. She begins to explain the process of simplifying the ridiculous numbers involved in the modeling process using mathematics when Dr. Argent is interrupted. It seems that junior researcher Polly had passed away in her bed, with the cause of death listed as sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome, meaning that they don't really know why she died. A testing of her cerebrospinal fluid found both 3966-A and B inside of her, and she had been taking some powerful sedatives at her time of death. Dr. Argent notes that he dropped a test tube containing some fluid, but got lucky as it only contained 3966-B. He writes that he really needs a nap. Continued testing and comparison of the sequencing of 3966 has found no complete matches, but did find a close match at 87% similarity with the silk proteins of SCP-848. 848 are a species of large banana spiders capable of spinning enormous webs stretching over 5 meters in diameter. These webs will occasionally ensnare a number of different objects and entities, both anomalous and non-anomalous, ranging from insects found around its natural habitat, to insects found in other parts of the world, to bits of paper, to some undiscovered insects, to even some creatures which may not even be from this planet. The anomalous aspect is mostly due to the inexplicable way that these things end up in the webs, with the leading theory being that 848 are able to catch objects from extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional locations. So basically, the 3966 proteins are not too far off from really weird spider webs. Dr. Argent notes that he doesn't dare take any sleeping pills at this point, and if he has to sleep with the spiders, he will. While you might think that was some sort of off-the-cuff remark, the next experiment involves Dr. Argent sleeping in the containment chamber of SCP-848. He ended up sleeping for 5 hours straight before waking up and bringing in the affected D-Class to join him. The D-Class was not as open to the scenario as the Doctor was, and it took a lot to calm him down. The Doctor ended up sleeping for another 4 hours, and woke up to one of the 848 specimens crawling across his face. He dreamed of seeing Polly wrapped in a cocoon, and notes that the 848 webs are particularly thick today. Dr. Argent contacts his sister again, who expresses her condolences over the loss of his assistant. He mentions that he brought the D-Class into the containment chamber with him to help them sleep, but his sister...
Let me get back to the chat. Alright, guys. What's major was she in search for throwing up? Brat died on that. Someone to be throwing up and throwing up for nausea. It's from anesthesia from surgery, Caswar the blind. I have 18 screws and 1 plate on my right ankle. Or it could be allergic, either way, should be temporary. Yeah, she was in a gymnastics accident and where the trampoline broke. So it's a whole lot that she's got to deal with. All right. Sorry.
Now ask what he means.
And I'm here, guys. I'm here to chat. I totally am. It's just that this chat, I gotta finish cleaning. Somehow it got really late, or it's getting late.
On to discussing the nature of 3966, which she says is a His sister decides that she'd rather not ask what he means. They move on to discussing the nature of 3966, which she says is a 4-dimensional protein, meaning that the C-terminus is not missing, they just can't see it.
That's dope.
To help explain, she discusses the concept of flatland, a world made up of only 2 dimensions. If you, as a 3-dimensional figure, looked down on a house in flatland, you'd be able to see everything in it at once.
Carl Sagan.
From the residents to inside cupboards and so on. The residents of flatland, however, would not be able to see you because you are above flatland.
Correct.
And for them, there is no above flatland, since there is no 3rd dimension.
Correct.
If you, however, reached down and touched the ground, they would be able to see your fingertip, the part that intersects with their world. Going beyond that, you could interact with their world in ways they never could, such as pulling a cup out of a cupboard without opening it. Dr. Argent asks if this means that he could see everything inside of the people as well, and touch them. He mentions their grandfather who died in his sleep from an unexplained cause. He says that people move around, but only end up with 3966B in their systems. And if he tried to reach into a flatlander and they moved, he'd be pulled along with them. Similarly, the flatlanders could feel their pull as well. Dr. Argent concludes that this pull would be in a direction we wouldn't notice, like a fall, and says that he has one last experiment to run. The final experiment that Dr. Argent runs is a test to see the missing C terminus of 3966-A, or in other words, the fourth dimensional ending that we can't see with our normal vision. The test is a success, and the image received of this fourth dimensional protein resembles an insect, or more accurately, an arachnid.
Oh, God. Always got to be a spider.
Let's summarize, as this can be a tricky one to comprehend at first, largely due to the great deal of scientific language involved. What this mostly comes down to is explaining two different phenomena in our world. The sudden, unexplained nocturnal death syndrome, in which people die during their sleep for no clear reason, and the hypnic jerk, which jerks us back awake as we're falling asleep sometimes.
I had that happen literally the other day.
Remember that 3966-A, the initial anomaly, was discovered in a large amount of corpses of people who died during their sleep. This protein was seemingly missing a part of itself, basically its ending, which is really weird and should mean that it just runs rampant through a human body, but it doesn't. Upon injecting this protein into a live subject, the D-class experienced a hypnic jerk, and rather than finding the A portion of the protein inside of them, they instead find a new protein, B. B doesn't really seem to be all that odd, except that they find that most of what makes up A also makes up part of B, so they are very similar. They eventually figure that A injected into human neural tissue causes really strange effects, as it essentially folds brain cells into the fourth dimension, beyond our perception. This brings in the talk of flatland, simplifying the discussion of different dimensions and how a creature of a higher dimension would interact with creatures of lower dimensions. Dr. Argent specifically notes that the higher dimension creature could even reach inside and touch a lower dimension creature's interior. If that lower dimension creature then moved, whatever was touching it would also move. And what this all means, since we know that 3966 is some sort of fourth dimensional spider, is that these creatures are reaching down into the third dimension, specifically into the brains of sleeping individuals, and folding away some of their brain cells, essentially sucking them up into the fourth dimension. This, of course, kills the person in a very mysterious and insidious way, but our bodies have a defense system against this. As you might have guessed, it's the hypnic jerk, a sudden bodily movement that jolts us awake and also breaks the spider's web.
No!
What remains behind our brain is easily dealt with by our bodies, but if someone were unable to perform a hypnic jerk for whatever reason, death would be inevitable.
That makes me so uncomfortable.
This is the fate which befell junior researcher Polly, who had taken large doses of powerful sedatives to help her sleep, and thus was unable to have a hypnic jerk. All that being said, there seems to be absolutely nothing the Foundation can do about this, with no hopes of containing these creatures. A small percentage of people will continue to die in their sleep due to parts of their brain being sucked into the fourth dimension, and life will go on for the rest. The SCP universe contains a whole menagerie of different horrors, and while SCP-3966 might not rank too highly in terms of sheer body count, it's pretty high up there for being disturbing.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Spiders in general are one of the most common fears in life, so thank goodness we don't have to worry about fourth dimension brain-sucking spiders.
That was a good one. Alright, we're done. That was the first clip that Mr. Blind, I like that name right there. The reason that Dr. Argent and the D-Class were able to sleep in the spider's containment chamber is the same reason that the spider webs were thicker the following morning. SCP-848 can catch things from other planets and from other dimensions. When the 3966 spiders swooped in to suck out their brains, the 848 spiders snatched up their fourth-dimensional webs. Spider Bros at it again. That was great. That was really fun. That was a good one. That was really good. Okay, guys, that was fun. Should we move on to the next one Mr. Blind sent over to me? You don't want to know Spider Moon. Oh, God. I don't want to know, but this is all really fun. Mr. PM, Purple Eye Man, Mr. Pem. PM, or Pem. But yeah, it was a fun one. I hope, Megan, I know you're going through it. I'm glad, I'm not glad, I'm just glad you have a place, like, you joined us. Last time it was just me and my wife chatting, but it looks like we got a good group of people here to hopefully take your mind off your pain. I do like Mr. Blind, though. Mr. Blind is really good. But Mr. Pem, Mr. Blind, they're both really good. Let's check out this next link. If you guys, you're here. We're all just chatting, having a good time. So now we're gonna move on to the next one. And Kazvar, this started with me showing them your footage of the gym. I was like, hey, my friend showed me this, and now I'm gonna go on to this, and that's how this all started. That's how the stream went. Doctor recovered from the trench. The trench, you should tell the doctor it's not working. You might need a stronger dose. Yeah, I am so scared. I know, Megan. I think the scarier thing is the uncertainty of where your life's going to be. Obviously, throwing up and the feeling of, when is this going to end? Is it ever going to end? Is this my life forever? All those questions dawning on you and spinning in your head while you're throwing up, while you can't eat. It's a lot to process. And as someone not going through it, but other people here that have been going through. Wait, are you scared of this? Or are you scared of I'm assuming you're scared of. I'm like, wait, now we're scared about what we're talking about, the haunted gym, or are we scared? Well, either way, just know we're here with you. You've got us in your spirits. It ain't going to be easy. It never is. Life throws us unfair challenges all the time, but you have support from strangers in the internet. I find that strangers on the internet can sometimes be more helpful than friends and family up close. So I'm really glad you were able to tune in and share your experience with us, because we care. It's a shitty one, but we care. With that said, we're going to move on to the next video. Is that number 1, 2? Let's see. We got the first one, and the second one was this correct? Exploring the SCP Foundation's document recovered from the Marianas.
From the Marianas Trench.
Marianas Trench. Yeah, she's been there a whole week, Kavzar the Blind. Mr. Blind, Mr. Pem. I do like Mr. Blind. It's a good Lucas. Good job. Mr. Cruz or Dr. J. Very good job with that nickname. I do like that. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I'm going to leave you guys, and I know AI is controversial, but I've been making some AI music so I don't have to worry about copyright infringement. So let me put some of that on, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, we're back. We're back, guys. Let's get back to it. Let's see here. Not much. It's at site 19, site 74. Okay, so we are on. Do I have this site up already? Exploring. There we go.
Been recovered from the
Pull that up. I've got it. Big screen. I don't know if you guys can really. I don't know what's allowed or not on YouTube, but I think YouTube is pretty liberal with the entertainment, especially since I did mark. Well, I guess I didn't write the YouTube video that I was watching. I put the first one in the description, but it's on YouTube. YouTube, don't ban me for posting other content. I'm watching it for entertainment reasons. I think that should do for the copyright. Everybody check out this page. What was the page? I'll link the page below once I'm done with it as well. But let's get going. Let's watch this document recovered from the Marianas Trench. Actually, I'm gonna get some water too, but I'll put it on louder for me.
recovered from the Marianas Trench. The SCP Foundation, with all of their vast resources, knowledge, and capabilities, really has only one goal: maintain normality. Every monster that is contained, every phenomena that is covered up, and every incident that is wiped away is done so that everyday humans can continue their everyday lives. By and large, this goal is successful and life goes on. But we've looked at some examples where the public gets a proper eyeful of the other side of the veil, such as the broken masquerade camp. The tale I'll be reading today, the document recovered from the Marianas Trench, details a scenario in which things go very wrong for the world, and the Foundation races to return things to normal. It's not an especially long tale, and it actually doesn't reference any existing SCP.
Pause 1 sec. Research for Site 12. Been working on this one. My cat is going to call the trenchers. Channel's the exploring series. Do you believe in dragons? You know, I think dragons must have existed at some. I don't know about in our lifetime or our world or our universe or our dimension, but somewhere in some land, yes, they should have existed, or they could still exist in another planet. I don't see why not. You know, if we had, I mean, it's not much different from dinosaurs, pterodactyls, and all that. If dinosaurs are real, there's definitely a high chance dragons are or were. So, sorry, let me rewind that a little bit.
This trench details a scenario in which things go very wrong for the world, and the Foundation races to return things to normal. It's not an especially long tale, and it actually doesn't reference any existing SCPs, but the implications are especially scintillating. I need to write this down, because I forget things sometimes, and I think what I heard today was important. Not to me. The time for me, or almost anyone else alive on Earth today, to make a difference is past. But someone, somewhere, might be able to make something of this, or at least find it helpful, or something. Once I'm done, I'm going to seal it up in a pipe, coated in wax, and chuck it into the ravine. Maybe someday, someone will read this and try to put things together, if they're allowed to. I'd love to start at the beginning, but I'm honestly not sure when the world started to end. Could have been years and years before the final bits, or it could have been all at once. Everything was so grim, what with warmer air, cooler seas, too little gas, and too many people. Things could have been unraveling for ages before things bubbled up to the public eye. What I and others remember most was when the Disney magic sank. It was then, I think, that most people started to think that things might be worse than they seemed. The Disney Magic was a big cruise ship, one of those liner jobs that tools around islands and stuff. One day, the news was all screaming about how it suddenly just went down when it was trying to put into port. The weird thing about it was how there was no video of it for a long time. Some still pictures of it floating fine, but none of it actually going down. Then, somehow, a tape showed up, and the news started playing it. I have to imagine they didn't review it first. The ship was puffing along, strong and fast, little boats bobbing around it, looking like every vacation lover's dream, when suddenly it stopped. I mean, stopped. Just a dead halt, like it had just slammed into a mountain. You could see people go lurching forward all over the deck, a bunch of junk fall off the sides, a real mess. It's all still for a few seconds, then suddenly there's this foaming behind the ship.
Let's see. Dragons can be people, personality, dispositions, character traits, more than just greed, a predominant nature. You should watch Forrest Galante's take on dragons on his podcast with Joe Rogan. Not familiar with who Forrest Galante is, but I'll check that out. Is it Galante? I'm not the best reader. Sorry, guys. There are multiple different timelines and universe and dimensions, so yes, there are probably dragons. Could you watch the video? Sure. I'll watch it right after this one, guys. Let's keep it going.
Trying to fire up again. Then ship. Still for a few seconds. Then suddenly there's this foaming behind the ship. Most people assumed it was the engine trying to fire up again. Then the arm came up. I'm not sure if it actually was an arm, but it was some kind of limb. And it must have been 100 feet long at least. It reached up along the side of the boat and just ripped it open. I mean, unzipped it like a coat. And you could see all the people inside screaming and running. It was awful. Then you saw something lurch up, a big spiny shape pushing against that gap, shoving in. Then there was an explosion on its back, and the camera whipped up to show a couple of jets whizzing by. Then it ended. I remember just sitting there, stunned, looking at the TV, barely noticing the president coming on to declare a state of emergency. I think it was 2 or 3 days later when the TV went under full government control, but it may have been a week, I'm not sure. Internet got clamped later, but soon all you could hear, read, or see was, "Remain calm, everything is under control."
Ugh.
The oddest thing was that life really didn't change much for a while. Bills still came, still had to work, go to school, all that. Just a lot more scared faces and a lot more weird talk. Pretty soon we were getting told that whole towns were being evacuated, that there was a plague or a riot or a terrorist bomb or some other nightmare. My brother down south said that they got moved because of a huge wildfire. The weird thing was, he said that the fire moved oddly, seemed to shoot right for gas or brush, and didn't travel evenly. That after a while, he swore he saw what looked like a 20-foot-tall man of fire walking and eating everything. The call got dropped right after he said that. I haven't talked to him since.
Ugh.
So things got worse, little by little. People kept being moved, and there was no real way to communicate with each other anymore that was really reliable. So it was hard to say just how bad things were. Still, word of mouth was still going strong, and it was creepy. Crazy shit, really. Stuff about zombies in the north, killing frenzies in the east, a place near the ocean where the ground was alive and eating people, a cult screaming about the second coming and killing people to buy off God. I started pulling more and more away from people, just to get some ignorant peace of mind. Looking back, that probably saved my life. Finally, one day, I woke up and there was blood on my window. It was outside, and I could hear some insane shit going down outside. Screaming, clanking, gunshots, and a smell like burning wires. I hid. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I left my fellow man to rot, and hid inside for almost a full week, long after the noise stopped. After the 5th day, the electricity and gas gave out, along with the running water. When I finally got hard up for supplies, I poked my nose out and saw that the whole west side of the world was gone. Now, I don't know for sure if it actually is gone, but there is a cliff that starts 30 feet to the west of my house, and I cannot see the bottom of it. I also can't see the other side of this ravine, so for all intents and purposes, that part of the world is gone for me. The suburb I was in looked like a war zone. Blood, broken stuff everywhere, houses carved up. No bodies, though, which I still think was weird. I scrounged up some food and stuff from some of the houses, then went back home.
Your
I've been
comment
doing
got
that for a while
deleted.
now. I'm not sure how long, really. Might have been years and years, or just a few months. It's hard to say. Sometimes the sun just sticks in one spot for what feels like days. Other times these clouds roll in and you can't see 2 feet. There's things around, too.
What was it? I don't think we deleted your comment. I saw your Joe Rogan one. Dragons. I said, yeah, we could watch the video. And that was the last thing. The one you deleted? Hey, let's play fair, guys. Let's play nice here. Repost it. Repost your comment. Don't worry, if it's too edgy, it's okay. We can leave edginess, but I don't. Hold on, let's get back to it. Play nice. Yeah, I don't think. Kazar's. We're pretty chill when it comes. Like I said, if the only thing that's gonna get deleted is racism. So it could have been that it just got flagged. There's a chance that, YouTube does have its own little flagging system as well. So I've seen some comments not go through, so reword it. But go ahead and say it again. Don't worry, no one's deleting anything around here.
I'm not sure how long, really. Might have been years and years, or just a few months. It's hard to say. Other times these clouds roll in and you can't see 2 feet. There's things around, too. I run at the first noise, but I think they're about man-sized, and they seem to like metal. Other little things scramble around in the rubble sometimes, so I try and keep clear. One time, a thing that looked like a pill bug the size of a cat crawled out, looked at me, and screamed, "Stop," in perfect English.
Stop!
I hid inside for days.
Stop!
There are also these big blimp things that float around sometimes. They have little bug legs on their undersides, and they look kind of like maggots, but with eyes all over. They eat everything when they land, but most of the time they stay high up. One of these had just passed when I found the hurt guy. He was all ripped up and looked like one of those SWAT team guys you see on TV sometimes.
We'll watch you next time.
But his combat suit thing was all ripped to hell. I dragged him back home, and then we talked. He said that he had been hunting the blimp thing, but had gotten attacked. He wouldn't say by what, but he looked like he was on his last legs. I fed him some canned beans and some water, and he seemed to come around a little. Asked me who I was, if I was all right and all that. He seemed kind of shocked when I said he was the first person I'd seen since the rest of the world vanished. He told me it wasn't gone, just relocated, but wouldn't say what that meant. I helped heal him up and kept asking who he was, but he wouldn't say. Finally, he said, screw it, that his orders were probably no good anymore anyway, and told me. He said he worked for a foundation or something, and that they were like a combination jail and research center. He said that he was one of the agents who went around trying to find strange stuff and keep it from hurting people. I said he was doing a hell of a job so far, and he laughed pretty hard.
Right.
He said something had happened, and that a bunch of these things had gotten loose at the same time, and caused this foundation place to lose control. He said it became a GH0 dead greenhouse scenario. I asked him what that meant, and he looked at me for a while before going on. He said that's what they call a situation where everybody on Earth dies, but the Earth itself is still okay and can support life. I asked, what did that matter if everybody's dead? and he smiled strangely. I asked him if anyone else on Earth was still alive, and he said yes, but carefully spread out and contained. After that, I just sort of sat and digested things for a bit, and the man started stretching and checking his cuts. He was starting to pull his boots on when I asked what happens now. He said that they have to reboot things. Said they have the technology to recreate almost anything, and that making people is actually pretty easy. Said that they would clean out and contain things, rebuild the broken cities, and repopulate them. It would take a long, long time, but he said they would eventually get things back to the way they were before. Even said they could recreate memories and stuff. I just sat, kind of stunned, and watched him as he just kept going along, getting dressed like this was all no big deal. I told him he was nuts, that there was no way people could just forget, that this could all just be swept away. He stopped, looked at me, smiled, and then said, "Why not? It's been done before." I don't know if that man was crazy or not, but I think he was sane. As he was leaving, he said something about putting my house underwater. Please, don't let them brush me away. Don't let them hide us. Try and find more. I know there's got to be more people who try to leave something behind. Don't let the world die in vain. Remember us.
That was good. I like that. I like that. These are fun stories. Okay, hon. Let's get on to yours. Hopefully, though, Joe Rogan's a different story. So that's the one thing. I feel like a channel like this is a little bit easier to get away with on YouTube, but you know what? What's going on, Trex? Don't get banned, okay? Don't get banned. Dragons, the mod scares me. Well, we needed one. We needed a mod, guys. Don't worry. He's a good guy. We're both shit posters. We both know this world's going to end soon enough. Don't worry. He's just there. He's not going to ban you. You can say poopy, nasty things and talk about my wife. It's all right. I'd rather you not, but now that you've obviously seen, I'm not going to be fazed by any of it. But yeah, come chill out. We're going to go on to Huz video. So what was that again? That was, let me look at what was the chat. It was Forest, Galante, Dragons. All right. Were dragons real animals? This the clip?
So you like the...
I think I did see a clip about this actually, but a nice little short 6-minute clip. YouTube, forgive me. I am not trying to do any copyright. I swear to Jeebus. Please, if I do, let me know. We're just doing this for research and entertainment purposes. Lucas Cruz, Dr. J. This is Hans video. Lucas, you're more than welcome to get on the queue if there's any other SCP files that we should be watching. Or Mr. Blind, by all means. This, like I said, you guys are just tuning in. All I'm doing is cleaning this room. We're almost done with the floor part. I just wanted to sweep and mop, and it took obviously like 3 hours longer because we had such an engaging chat. We had Megan in here. I don't know if Megan's still here. Hopefully she fell asleep. Hopefully she's resting and having good dreams, not nightmares. But yeah, let's move on.
These kind of far out there ideas. How do you like this idea? There's a group of people that say that dragons were real, and I'll explain. Ooh. So around the same time period, so to speak, and I'm not one of these people, so I'm probably going to get the details wrong a little bit.
Matthew McConaughey movie. Right now.
Seriously. But so around the same time period in China, South America, Africa, all these different Rome, all these places, images depicted people fighting dragons, right? And every dragon was slightly different, but it was all a giant, scaly animal that could fly. So when you break that down, you think about the fact that large birds had a hard time being fossilized because their bones are so porous, right? So because they have like hollowish bones, they break down very easily, they don't fossilize. So the group that says this, basically they're saying the evidence is the reason there's no fossils of dragons is because they had bird bones and they were actually very delicate animals. But a handful of these small population of these giant flying lizards existed and basically encompassed all these different countries where they all depicted fighting dragons in their own way, and they were all killed off by, knights or whatever it is, and then didn't fossilize.
What?
So it's like the science is saying that if there were a lizard...
Joe Rogan. What? Look up SCP. Okay. We'll get to that, guys. Absolutely. Let's finish this clip. I just thought that was a great Joe Rogan. What? All right. So we got the basis down. The basis is there's no fossils because chickens. Chicken bones. Easy. They break. What?
So it's like the science is saying that if there were lizards big enough to fly around and eat people, they didn't have bones that could fossilize.
So it'd be like an eagle.
Right. And that's why all these human populations around the world have depictions of them, because they did actually exist.
Now, are there any stories of dragons, like written, like in the times of people that they actually had the written word, or is it just depictions?
I don't know. Not my field.
That would be interesting because, like, are these depictions like ancient accounts told by generation after generation, like passed down?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know anything about dragons or whether it's real, but I think it's interesting to think, oh, well, the science supports that if there were flying lizards, their bones wouldn't have fossilized, and these have been passed down, stories that have been exaggerated and passed down from generation to generation.
And some of them breathe fire, but some of them don't, depending upon
which culture it was significant to.
I wonder what the fire is supposed to represent, or they're just people are full of shit.
Probably that one.
That would make it sound even cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not gonna kill him. He was trying to burn me. Do you hold any weight? Do you think that holds any weight? Like,
no,
there's actually dragons?
I mean, we know there were large flying lizards during the times of dinosaurs, right? The only weight that it could possibly hold is that, like, a few of those somehow survived much later than we previously thought. But do I think that there were dragons attacking human beings and civilizations? No, I don't. But it's still interesting.
It's so much cooler if there were.
Right.
The fact that we know that pterodactyls did exist, that's cool.
Right.
It would be way cooler if they existed with people.
Right, 2,000 years ago.
Why is that? Why is that so much cooler to us?
I don't know.
It's like people would dedicate giant chunks of their life trying to find out if pterodactyls did coexist with human beings at one point in time. They really would.
Absolutely.
Many of you, there was like 100-foot pterodactyl snatching kids.
It'd be terrifying.
Oh my god.
Well, do you know about the moa eagle?
Yeah, the Haast eagle.
The Haast, exactly.
Yeah.
So I call it moa eagle because they used to attack moas.
They weren't that big.
No, but they did supposedly snatch Maori children. Yeah.
But when I Googled it, I remember, I think the large ones were like 40 pounds or something like that. I don't think they were that big.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, like an eagle is really light.
Right, but their wingspan is still enormous. Yeah,
I mean, they have incrable power. Like when you see an eagle snatch a salmon with its claws and fly away with this 10-pound salmon.
Right.
And I mean, that's insane.
It is.
Because that salmon probably weighs more than it.
Right.
Right? Like birds are weird, right? They sit on you like, oh, you're not very heavy.
No, they don't weigh anything. And again, that goes back to that whole hollow bone type thing.
Right, that's why chickens are strange, because they're fat.
Yeah.
They weigh a lot. Like you pick up a chicken, you're like, you fat fuck, you can't even fly. But bird, like a hawk, fairly light. Yeah. For what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, what was the biggest Haast eagle? How big was the Haast eagle? But they were hunted by people.
Right.
Because they posed a threat. Right?
And because people hunted the moa to extinction, that giant bird that that the Haast eagle primarily preyed on. And so the twofold kind of made them collapse.
Yeah. Large, gigantic, ancient things.
8.5, let's see.
I got one. A large, gigantic, ancient thing. Huzzah!
5 feet, possibly up to 10 in a few cases.
Sorry.
Sorry, back it up.
Collapse.
Back it up.
Yeah. Large, gigantic, ancient things.
8.5, let's see.
8.5.
Wingspan for females typically 8.5 feet, possibly up to 10 in a few cases.
Why female? I'm trying to talk
That's
about
just the first
dudes,
thing
bro.
I see.
I want to know about the big dudes.
Males 25 pounds, females 31 pounds.
Oh, females are
Those are
bigger.
bigger, yeah.
Matriarchs.
Largest female could have been 36 pounds.
Yeah.
But
That's
still
not that big.
But a 10-foot wingspan is pretty
Yeah.
huge.
Oh, huge. Yeah. I mean,
And, you know, talons, they've got, I don't know, but they had to have been enormous.
Talons.
Flying knives.
yeah. Well, you've seen the videos that the Mongols use, where they train golden eagles to kill wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And they
And
fly
shoot
down.
them out, and yeah.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
They fuck up wolves. Like,
Yeah.
they're way smaller than a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
The wolf has zero chance.
Right.
They swoop down and grab a wolf by the back of the neck and just fuck him up.
Isn't
and
it crazy?
Hold on, the wolf's like trying to get away, and they're just killing him.
And I believe, maybe it's not Mongolian culture, but one of those, falconry cultures, you have to, like, as a teenage boy or something like that, your rite of passage is to go climb the cliff and take the chick out of the nest.
Whoa.
And it's like this crazy process where, you know, a number of kids die trying to get to the eagle chick, and the ones that come back, that's their bird for however long the bird lives, or I don't really know the whole process.
That's right out of Avatar.
Isn't that nuts?
Right?
Yeah.
That's bananas. You gotta steal the chick from the nest and raise it.
Uh-huh.
Who figured that out? Who figured out you're gonna train a fucking raptor?
I don't know.
Like, how weird are people?
Yeah.
That they figure
Very.
these things out.
And
Very
someone
weird.
was the first. You know what I mean? Someone was like, I'm gonna go get that baby bird.
You know what he probably did? He probably got high off that honey. He said, I'm gonna keep climbing.
That's right.
I'm gonna hit me a fucking bird and have a bird do all the hunting.
That's right. Everyone's like, you're crazy, man.
Bro, you can't have a bird do the hunting.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's ridiculous. And that's why I'm like... That's so ridiculous. I love it. Alright, guys, here we go. So, Myth about Giant Anaconda's good. Same interview with Joe Rogan. Well, I think you should check some of the files of some of the SCP entities. Can you look up SCP-2718? Look up SCP-01. If I remember correctly, 2718 is Death Cognito Hazard. Oh, slow roll with the 01s. He's new to this. Yup. No need to see it. He must know. Trust me. I'm going to start him out with a good word. Since he has a doggy dog care business, it's fitting. Then we go to the 01s. Fine. Wait, how about 999? Besides a good boy is my favorite proposal. 939 fixed. 99 is such a cute guy. Sent you last vid investiture. Dude said you need to see 999. Speaking of large gigantic things, there is a giant anaconda in the Amazon. The vid is a myth. Large anaconda in the Amazon. Still Joe Rogan. Okay. The fans have spoken. No offense, Hut. I do love me some potheads like Joe Rogan. But we'll move. We'll do, one more time. What's the vote here? I don't even know if, can you do votes on here? We'll go to the anacondas. But are we moving on to 999 then? 999? 999. Yeah, let's move on to 999. So he said he sent it to me on the chat. My chat's right over here. I don't think you guys can see all that stuff, but go right over here. Is it, wait, 2273? Is this the one? No, 999. Yes, 999.
2270.
Come on, Ha. Send me the link of the anaconda. Tessa doesn't have a 999 video, but I'm sure you can find one on YouTube, maybe Dr. Bob's channel. Okay, while we figure out 999, we'll give you your video, huh? Okay. What is you said anaconda. Is it a quick one? Anaconda, Joe Rogan, Amazon. Is that what it is? Only because I love you, huh? And you've been here for a while, okay? You guys, Kazvar and Dr. J, I'll move on to the other one, but let's figure out if someone's got a good video for that 999, since that one seems like both even. Trex, you wanted 2718. You guys agree on which one we're going to watch after this one. That'd be great. Let's see.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You know, I can sort of understand that in the sense of, like, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like, I don't go for skydives or, you know, any of that stuff. It doesn't drive me. But that thrill and rush I get of, you know, darting a bear or working with a lion or doing, you know, swimming with an anaconda, like, that fuels me for weeks. Like, I get getting goosebumps thinking about some of them right now because I get so excited and it's not just for a personal rush, but rather, we're doing it for work or whatever, but those moments stick with me forever. And I sort of get that, but not like, I'm just going to risk my life over this climb or whatever, So
what are your
it's sort
thoughts
of different.
on giant anacondas? Like, because there's always been this thing about enormous anacondas that live in the rainforest.
So, yeah, there's fascinating. So I love anacondas. I believe, and I've got a colleague, Brian.
I found a video of the 999.
In Australia, actually.
It's coming up
He
next.
has a similar belief that there are 30-foot anacondas. Now, 30 is a big anaconda, but you're talking about those mysterious, like 50, 100-footers.
Yeah.
Okay, so take out the Amazon and take out anacondas for a second.
Okay.
All right? Think about where all the largest snakes are in the world. Okay?
Florida.
Well, now, yes, but we've got all these wet tropical environments that house these huge snakes. In Indonesia, you have reticulated pythons, you have Burmese pythons, you have African rock pythons, Indian rock pythons, anacondas, all these big snakes.
Just 7 more minutes, and we'll go on to 999.
Yeah.
The only place that has a wet, tropical, humid, high density of prey environment that doesn't have a massive snake is the Congo, Central Africa. Now, stay with me. That area is home to some African rock python stuff, and not big monster anaconda-sized ones, right? But during World War II, there was a colonel who flew over there, and this was a well-respected colonel. I'm sure, Jamie, you'll be able to find this very quickly. A well-respected, I forget, he had his wings or his patch of honor or whatever, very distinguished, who him and his 2 passengers in the plane both reported a 100-foot long snake. They flew over it once. They're like, wait a minute, what is that? They were Dutch Belgium in the Congo. They flew over it once, went, what is that? And flew over it 2 more times to verify it, and got so low to the ground that they said the snake struck at the airplane, and all 3 people, the pilot, this well-respected colonel, and the 2 passengers had the exact same story of this giant snake in Central Africa.
Interesting.
Yeah, and yet no big snake has ever been proven from there. But it's also a very poorly biologically explored area. And most of the time, when these animals get this big, snakes or otherwise, they're in very low... Yeah, here's the picture.
They took a photo of it?
They did. Yeah, they did. They're in very low densities. So... That's the real photo over on the left there.
What did they think it was?
They thought it was a giant snake, a 50-foot long...
So that's the photo right there?
I believe so. But the story's fascinating of these colonels...
But they don't know, what kind of snake. They don't know if it was an anaconda or a python. Or...
It would be an undescribed species, because the only snake there, the African rock python, doesn't get that big.
What is the biggest snake that we know? Oh, it says it measured approximately 50 feet in length, saw brown green with a white belly, has a triangle-shaped jaw and a head 3 by 2 feet. Oh my god.
Jesus.
A 3-foot head.
That's a big fucking head.
Analyzed and verified
I know about big heads. Huzzah!
I'm not sure, but that was the Colonel Remington leader.
As he flew lower for a closer inspection, the snake rose up approximately 10 feet, giving a warning that it would have attacked a helicopter if it had been within striking range.
But imagine flying over and having a snake sort of lunge at a helicopter.
That's wild.
Jesus Christ.
Jamie, do you mind going to my Instagram
Literally
quickly?
Swallow you alive.
Dude, look at this one. I posted a picture day before yesterday. This is 18 feet, and look at the size of it compared to me, and how scary this snake is. Now, to think of, like you said, you're like an M&M to a snake. And now look at the size of it. Look at this one. I posted.
Oh my God.
Granted, it's not 3 foot by 2 foot head, but still, that thing.
What's the weight on something like that?
It was over 200. It broke our scale.
Wow.
Yeah, it was over 200 pounds.
Wow. Indonesian villagers claim to have captured a python that is almost 49 feet long and weighs nearly 990 pounds.
I've seen this. It's not verified at all.
Do you have an image of it?
This might be the one that's
I
on.
can't wait to watch 999.
No.
This is very interesting too, though.
There's a fake one on a tractor that
it's fake
floated around. Well, it's just very forced perspective. It's like a wide-angle lens, and the snake is right in front, but it looks massive.
But this is NBC. This is NBC News. Let's see if it has images of this sucker.
So these are all like retics, and there are big snakes out there.
Look at the size of that goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, what is the biggest snake? Is it a python? The biggest snake that we know of?
So the heaviest is the reticulated python.
Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah.
How big is that?
That's big. It's probably 20-ish. So there's quite a lot of 20-foot snakes out there. And then there's a couple 21, 22s, but that's it. And so there's all these rumors of 30-foot snakes and 40-foot snakes and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing that's been verified outside of one skin, I believe. I want to say from Indonesia, that is like, but skin stretch. That's the other thing,
it
too.
turns out to be a tall tail. It says when Recreation Park in Indonesia put a huge reticulated python on show last week, keepers insisted to reporters it was 49 feet long, make it the longest ever caught, but the find turned out to be a tall tail.
Yeah.
So how big was it exactly?
I bet it was 20-ish. 21, there it is.
Yeah, 21 feet still.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a big snake, man.
But not 50.
Not 50.
Was it? I have no idea why the snake has shrunk, said one keeper when asked about the discrepancy as the snake lounged on a tree branch inside the cave. But things do shrivel up when you catch them. Yeah. You know, like fish do. Like when you catch a fish. Yeah.
Well, definitely when you tell people about it. But yeah. I went fishing here.
I know about shriveling things. Huzzah!
In Austin this morning.
Oh, did you really?
Downtown. Literally right in front of the Google building. We were playing
Lady
Bird Lake.
Yeah, there's a lot of bass out there.
It was awesome, man.
It's a great little spot.
Yeah, really fun.
Right in front of the Google building. That's
right in front of it, yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest in the world is the python, right? So they're bigger than anacondas?
So it's sort of a toss-up. The reticulated python has been clocked as the heaviest snake in the world because they get fatter. But the anacondas have been clocked in slightly longer. I think 26 feet is the longest ever recorded.
Did you ever see the Jennifer Lopez movie?
Yeah. The documentary? Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
It's such a corny movie.
It's so good. The bad, like, snake head, if you watch it
so
today.
Bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. But that was always the rumor, is that there was enormous snakes in the Amazon. Yeah. And that, you just didn't see them.
I do believe that there are some megafauna out there that are yet to be found, that are in low populations.
Like you believe in the sloth, the giant sloth?
I believe that has and again, that's like the thylacine. It's a proven animal. It's been 10,000 years, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't be extant in certain remote areas. Same with some of these big snakes. Maybe not 50, because maybe these things are embellished, but maybe 30, maybe 35, right? And I just think that there are a few, not a lot, of these big things out there. If you're one of these uncontacted Amazonian tribes, of which there are still several, West Papuan tribes, whatever, and you're seeing a 50...
We need to bring the Amazonians Christianity and then get hit by an arrow. Who is Forrest Gallant? Gallant? Never really heard of him. Is he like just...
But snake. Nobody in the Western world, we're not hearing about that.
Right.
Those things can be happening and those stories get embellished and passed on and all of that, but we wouldn't even know until Western science gets in there. And it's sort of a double-edged sword, because once it does, it sort of ruins certain aspects of that, right? So, but I do believe that there are big animals to be found still.
Okay, we got the wiki.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, that's what's interesting to me is how
Good morning, everyone.
All right, guys, what you've been waiting for, and this guy's, why does he sound like me? Hold on.
Good morning, everyone.
He's got a nicer voice. What you guys have been waiting for, SCP-999. And let me get back to the comments. So, Mr. Blind 999 brings joy to people. I know who 999 is. I know he's so cute. My favorite vid is 999. Huh. Just a TV personality. Yeah, I've never heard of that guy. Sensei Volgan is a huge name in SCP YouTube. He's a wildlife biologist, and he has had many TV shows searching for instinct animals, etc. Interesting. It's the first time actually finding out or listening to him. I know Joe Rogan has a whole slew of people on there, so from all creeds and all backgrounds. That's the one thing Joe Rogan does right, I think. Not a hater, not a Joe Rogan hater. I just don't watch him, but I think that's one of his most aspiring qualities, is that he'll bring anyone on the show. All right, so let's do it, guys. We ready for SCP-999? And Volgan is the channel we are watching. The Volgan YouTube. I am not trying to do no copyright. I am giving credit to the owner. We are appreciating their art together. We are watching the Volgan. We are streaming to YouTube. We are on YouTube. We are supporting YouTube. We are giving this person a view on YouTube. So don't ban me. All right, guys. Let's get it. It's real. It's real. Okay, Mr. Blind, it's real.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-999. Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to, but otherwise must stay in its pen either between 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. for sleeping or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds at any time. Pen is to be kept clean and food replaced twice daily. All personnel are allowed inside SCP-999's holding area, but only if they are not assigned to other tasks at the time, or if they are on a break. Subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. Description. SCP-999 appears to be a large, amorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing about 54 kilograms with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. Subject's size and shape is easily malleable and can change shape at will, though when at rest, SCP-999 becomes a rounded, oblate dome, roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The surface of SCP-999 consists of a thin, transparent membrane similar to that of an animal cell, roughly 0.5 centimeters thick, and is highly elastic, allowing SCP-999 to flatten portions of its body up to 2 centimeters thin.
Jeez.
This surface is also hydrophobic, although SCP-999 can willfully absorb liquids. See Addendum 999-A. The rest of SCP-999's body is filled with a viscous orange substance of unknown chemical makeup, though it is capable of digesting organic materials with ease. Subject's temperament is best described as playful and dog-like. When approached, SCP-999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping upon them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods while nuzzling the person's face with a third pseudopod, all the while emitting high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises. The surface of SCP-999 emits a pleasing odor that differs with whomever it is interacting with. Recorded scents include chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh.
Bacon!
Simply touching SCP-999's surface causes an immediate mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to SCP-999 and lasts long after separation from the creature. Subject's favorite activity is tickle wrestling, often by completely enveloping a person from the neck down and tickling them until asked to stop, though it does not always immediately comply with this request.
Oh God, I hate being
Though
tickled.
injuries may occur, SCP-999 has never been found to purposefully attempt to harm others, and will immediately back away and contract its body into a quivering mound while gurgling in a similar manner to a whimpering dog, seemingly apologizing for hurting someone on accident. While the creature will interact with anyone, it seems to have a special interest in those who are unhappy or hurt in any way. Persons suffering from crippling depression or PTSD, for example, have reported having a far more positive outlook on life after multiple interactions with SCP-999. The possibility of manufacturing antidepressants from SCP-999's slime is currently being discussed. In addition to its playful behavior, SCP-999 seems to love all animals, especially humans, refusing to eat any meat and even risking its own life to save others. On one occasion, leaping in front of a person to take a bullet fired at them. Subject's intellect is still up for debate. Though its behavior is infantile, It seems to understand human speech and most modern technology, including guns. SCP-999's diet consists entirely of candy and sweets, with M&Ms and nickel wafers being its favorites. Its eating methods are similar to those of an amoeba.
Okay, so we've got a ditto-like creature that's like Majin Buu that likes to tickle. I think I'm getting a lot of Majin Buu vibes here. Candy! Boom! Man! Okay, sorry. Let's go back. Didn't mean to interrupt, guys. Didn't mean to interrupt.
It's entirely of candy and sweets, with M&Ms and Necco wafers being its favorites. Its eating methods are similar to those of an amoeba. Addendum. SCP-999-A. Reminder to all staff. SCP-999 is not to consume caffeinated soft drinks of any kind.
Oh, God.
Last week, someone gave SCP-999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. Not only was it literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour, the combination made SCP-999 visibly queasy afterwards, and it refused to move or eat the rest of the day. SCP-999 has thankfully recovered since, but the staff member in question has been reprimanded. Dr. Addendum. SCP-999-B. The following is a report from an experiment in which SCP-682 is exposed to SCP-999 in the hopes that it will curb the creature's omnicidal rage.
Got gooses.
SCP-999 is released into SCP-682's containment area. SCP-999 immediately slithers towards SCP-682. SCP-999 moves in front of SCP-682, jumping up and down in a dog-like manner while calling out in a high-pitched squealing noise.
Disgusting.
SCP-682 immediately steps on SCP-999, completely flattening SCP-999. Observers were about to abort the experiment when SCP-682 started talking again.
I feel good. I love it.
SCP-999 can be seen crawling up from between SCP-682's toes, up along its side and around its neck, where it clings on and begins gently nuzzling with its pseudopod. A wide grin slowly spreads across SCP-682's face.
Happy?
SCP-682 repeats the word happy for several minutes, laughing occasionally before escalating into non-stop laughter. As laughter continues, SCP-682 rolls around on its back, slamming its tail upon the floor with dangerous force.
It's so bizarrely freaky, it's hilarious.
SCP-682 and SCP-999 continue the tickle fight until SCP-682 finally wears down and appears to fall asleep with what would appear to be a smile on its face.
Aww.
After 15 minutes with no activity, 2 D-Class personnel enter the room to retrieve SCP-999. When SCP-999 is removed, SCP-682 immediately wakes up and unleashes an unidentifiable wave of energy from its body, all the while laughing manically. All persons within the wave's range collapse into crippling fits of laughter, allowing SCP-682 to escape and slaughter all in its path. Meanwhile, SCP-999 quickly rescues as many persons as it can, taking them to a safe place to recover from SCP-682's laughter wave, while agents suppress and recontain SCP-682. Despite the tragedy that SCP-682 had brought upon the facility, SCP-999 has not shown any fear towards the creature, and in fact has made gestures suggesting it wants to play with SCP-682 again.
Weird.
682, however, has stated that affectionate little can even die.
Memo from Dr.
Get that fucking happy
While the
thing
test
away.
was unsuccessful and ended in tragedy, that had to be the funniest thing I have ever seen. I never thought I'd see the day when I would regard SCP-682 as cute. Please send me a copy of the security tapes as soon as possible.
I'm sorry you're bored, huh?
I'm just going to end this lecture with a piece of advice. Don't try and use 999 as some kind of therapy. It doesn't work, and you just end up getting banned from its pen. It happened to my friend. Turns out something that eats M&Ms and Necco wafers doesn't really taste that good when it's coming in, or feel that good when it's coming out. I know. Too much information. Sorry, it's been a long week. Anyway, thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
That was fun. That was fun. Don't hate, huh? If it's not your cup of tea,
I would like to give a special thank you to the reclusive extrovert, James Saba, Catherine Jones.
I had a good time on that. I think all forms of entertainment, whether fiction, fact, entertainment's good. It's good for the soul. I mean, I like the eerie things. I think eerie things are really... It's so hot right now. I think like the younger generation, these Zoomers and stuff. Is that what they call them? What are these little... What are the new generation called? Whatever the new generation is, they like some horror stuff. It's very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Are we doing Alexei Belatrov? Is that what we're going to do? What's next, guy? What do you guys think, Lucas? Is that what we're going next? I appreciate you guys doing this little watch party with me. Like I said from the get-go, I'm just folding this, cleaning up, and making sure. I'm trying to get my numbers up. I want to get monetized. So you guys being here really helps my channel out. It's been fun. I'm not done watching whatever next. So let's get it. Let's get to the next one. Why the fuck not? I want to learn it. And I know if this isn't your cup of tea, feel free to throw in another suggestion and we'll move on to that after, okay? Okay. That's that one. 2273.
CP-2273. Major Alexei Belatrov of the Red Army's 22nd Armored Infantry Division. War is typically a brutal, horrifying, and tragic affair for most of those that partake in it, with long-lasting ramifications. This SCP is about a soldier from another universe who wears a living bug as armor.
That's sick.
But at the same time, it's about more familiar and relatable concepts related to war. We won't get action-packed logs filled with alternate universe soldiers tearing things apart, but we will get an interesting and unique look at a man separated from his war-torn home. SCP-2273 is an entity of extra-universal origin consisting of two separate but connected parts. One being a non-anomalous human man named Alexei Belatrov, and the other is an anomalous organism that shares a symbiotic relationship with him.
This organism completely covers Alexei, leaving nothing exposed, and possesses a number of unique traits, including a durable chitinous carapace, compound lensed eyes that give it a 270-degree field of vision, advanced musculature that allows Alexei to lift an estimated 1,200 kilograms of weight, a proboscis similar to that of a housefly that lets the organism procure nutrients, and a fully functional organic radio transceiver. The organism's circulatory and nervous systems are connected with Alexei, so whatever it sees, feels, or hears, so does Alexei. Alexei can't normally speak, so the radio transceiver is used for all communications. 2273 is nearly 7 feet in height, weighing over 600 pounds, but was unarmed when found, with wounds on his arms and shoulder blades where Alexei says that weapons were previously mounted. The organism also had some colored scar tissue that appeared like tattoos, corresponding to military patches, indicating that Alexei was a major in the 22nd Armored Infantry Division, a unit that doesn't exist nor has ever existed in the Russian military. Alexei was found by the Foundation after investigating a seismic event and subsequent radiation spikes in Wisconsin in 1989. He was found by tracking down some radio transmissions, and he was discovered wounded, delirious, and suffering from malnutrition, offering no resistance to the recovery team. He is subsequently interviewed by a Dr. Friedrich, who first tries speaking in Russian, but Alexei responds in German and tells him his accent is atrocious. Alexei then tells him to stop with the pleasantries because he knows that they have killed his men, tortured him, and left him to die in the wilderness. He says that his men died because he surrendered, and he knows that was a mistake because they should have died like warriors fighting for the motherland. He had hoped that by surrendering he could spare their lives, but instead they are dead, and he's here in an American concentration camp. When asked if he knows where he is, Alexei says that it doesn't matter, because he will not be broken. To help Alexei understand his situation, the doctor gives him some low-level information about the Foundation. This clears a few things up for him, and he refers to the Foundation not as dogs, but as crows, which is Red Army slang for the Foundation equivalent in his universe, a group that steals weapons from both sides for containment. He now understands that he is not where he came from, and although Dr. Friedrich tells him they want to find out where he came from so they can send him back, Alexei knows that he'll be in this cell forever. Friedrich admits that's probably the case, but the experience doesn't have to be miserable if he cooperates. 3 days later, Alexei asks to speak again with Friedrich, telling him that he's not quite sure the Foundation isn't working with the Americans, so he's not going to say anything that the Americans in his universe wouldn't already know. When asked about the war that he's been involved in, Alexei says that it is the Second Great Patriotic War, which started after the Americans launched a nuclear attack against Russia and its allies. This led to a nuclear holocaust, with most of the population forced to retreat underground. Alexei's armor allows him to survive on the surface, and it was built for the Russian military by a group called the Engineers. He's not even sure how it works, really, but he knows that it has saved his life countless times, and has been worth the pain. Since the armor takes many years to grow, Alexei's parents volunteered him for the program when he was just a boy, and it was the most painful experience of his life. He is glad for the process, though, as it made him that much more of a warrior for his country, since everything it feels, sees, smells, tastes, or hears, so does he. Additionally, the organism is capable of thinking, as it identifies targets, weapons, ammunition, supplies, friends and foes, objectives, hazards, and helps Alexei formulate battle plans and combat tactics. He is clearly proud of the things that he and his armor have accomplished over the years. When the Foundation had found him, he had just been captured by the Americans, who had forcibly removed his weapons and supply packs, which were mounted onto the organism's body, creating wounds. They had
done this with all of Alexei's surviving men as well, before killing them. All he remembers afterwards is a bright flash of light. The Americans were gone, and he was in a different location. So he started sending encrypted distress codes until the Foundation found him. The next day, Alexei was showing significantly reduced signs of stress, and asked Dr. Friedrich if he could be supplied with recordings of the Russian composer Tchaikovsky. Friedrich says he'll see what he can find, and then asks him more about the engineers that built his armor. The engineers have apparently never built this armor for themselves because it is not their war. When Friedrich asks why not, Alexei asks if they don't have engineers in this world because they are very much not like humans. They fear the sun and have beast-like coats, but are smarter than any human you'd ever meet. They made the war possible for both sides. I've discussed these entities before as SCP-1000, also known as Bigfoot, or the Children of the Night. In Alexei's universe, they hadn't been wiped out to the same degree as in our universe, so instead they had just stayed underground. Alexei explains that they were a relatively recent discovery by the people of his world, when the French found them in buried cities during the Great War, while they were digging trenches. SCP-1000 decided to help both sides by making advanced weaponry in order to propagate war amongst our species as payback. This war, of course, ended with Germany's defeat. Alexei recognizes some understanding in Friedrich's eyes, as he guesses that their worlds are not entirely different after all. 2 years go by with Alexei in peaceful containment, regularly interviewed every week by Friedrich. He had been reading The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, and identified with the protagonist, as they had both seen many things that they didn't think they would ever see, and been to places that they would have rather not been to. They both saw the world die, and have gone somewhere where they cannot return from, leaving friends behind. Alexei goes on to mention that he's been having trouble sleeping at night, worried that his armor might be malfunctioning. It seems to be dragging up old memories as he's trying to sleep, which is one of its functions, so that Alexei can remember details he'd normally forget. But now it's showing him things from the war that he'd rather forget. Alexei brushes it off, though, saying that he'll cope, but Friedrich encourages him to discuss it. After some hesitation, Alexei explains that he's been seeing his men's faces staring up at him from the dirt, asking him why he didn't keep them safe, and why he was allowed to live while they had to die. He had trained alongside those men since they were children, and it was his order to surrender that got them killed. He believes that he should have died with them, and now he's no better than the American dogs that killed them. He doesn't want to feel this way anymore, and asks the doctor to make it stop.
Don't make it stop,
The regular article of 2273 ends at this point, but Alexei's story does not, which continues on in a person of interest file numbered 2273. His story continues in an alternate timeline, the Broken Masquerade canon, where public awareness of anomalies leads the SCP Foundation to set free a number of safer, sapient anomalies, including Alexei. He wanted to find work in Russia, so he was given passage to Volgograd through the Mana Charitable Foundation's Anomaly Reintegration Project, but the government refused to hire him due to him being an anomaly. Alexei earned a living by doing various television, radio, and online interviews, but failed to find any permanent employment. Finally, after 2 years, he contacted the MCF's Office for Anomaly Reintegration and asked to be relocated. 3 weeks later, the Foundation lost track of Alexei until the following year, when he began to send letters to Dr. Friedrich without disclosing his location. In the first letter, Alexei thanks Friedrich for everything he did for him at the Foundation, and he knows that Friedrich helped downgrade Alexei to safe status so he could be released. He's still having the nightmares, but Friedrich taught him some techniques to help him handle it, and he says there's no way he can repay him for that. He explains that the last 3 years have been hard for him, as he's too accustomed to the world he came from, And this world has too many flashing lights and happy people and air and food and capitalism. He says that this world is stranger than the books he's read led him to believe, and it's beautiful, but it's not meant for him. He reminisces about some of the friends that he had made while in containment, and actually says that he misses being in a cell. He mentions that he's been able to eke out a living through interviews, but it's become exhausting, and the public is losing interest. People on the street either avoid him like the monster that he is, or treat him like a celebrity or hero that he isn't. He almost misses seeing Russia as a burned and radioactive wasteland, and eventually he decided that he needed to head to a more remote and isolated location. He again thanks the doctor and hopes he'll write back so he can know how everyone at the site is doing. In the next letter, Alexei says that for the first 30 years of his life, he had been told that atheism was absolute truth, and that religion was just propaganda used by capitalists and monarchs to keep the masses in chains. But now he sees that the people he's with currently dedicate themselves to their God, and their lives are without pain or worry. They treat Alexei as one of their own and ask nothing of him, and they are more understanding of his condition than anyone else he's met. He says that these people are not in chains, and may be the only free people he has ever known. It turns out that Alexei had been relocated to a monastery belonging to the Eastern Clockwork Orthodox Church, a denomination of the Church of the Broken God that incorporates elements of the Russian Orthodox Church. While on a trip to a village away from the monastery, Alexei saw one of his old anomalous friends on television, being publicly presented at some sort of conference, and he was glad to see that it was healthy. He also saw that another of his friends, SCP 507, had published an autobiography of his experiences in containment, and he plans on reading it. For the first time in his life, Alexei has started praying for people he's never met and for people he's lost. He prays for Dr. Friedrich's health and hopes that someday he'll be able to walk as a free man. It seems that Friedrich at some point had been contained as an SCP for unknown reasons. The following letter, sent 9 years after his release, has Alexei telling Friedrich that he's sorry he can't come and visit him because the MCF won't help provide passage to the Foundation site. Most people, including them, believe that Alexei faced abuse at the Foundation's hands. It seems that Friedrich had recently been diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma, and this is possibly being exacerbated by his anomalous condition. Alexei continues to pray for him and tells him to remember that Christ is with him. It's noted that by this point, Alexei had joined the Eastern Orthodoxy as a full member. The next letter was sent 7 years later, in January of 2034. Friedrich was heading into radiation therapy to treat his stage 4 lymphoma, and Alexei prays for a safe surgery and rapid recovery. He hopes that Friedrich will contact him soon, as it's been a cold winter, and good news will help to welcome the coming spring. Alexei's lost too many friends, and known far too much tragedy in his life, seeing worlds and friends die, and cannot stand to see another friend leave this world so soon. He writes that although Friedrich is unmarried, he is not unloved, and he has to be strong for both himself and for Alexei. He wants Friedrich to plant a garden in the spring, as he hopes to swap gardening photos with one another again. He tells Friedrich to trust in the power of the Lord and in modern medicine, because God is smiling on him. Unfortunately, due to several cancerous tissues avoiding detection, Friedrich's condition deteriorated rapidly, and he passed away on February 11th. The letter sent from Alexei arrived at the Foundation site 4 days later, and was returned to sender. We switch over to excerpts from Alexei's diary at this point, with an entry written a year after the previous letter. He writes that today is the day that the monastery celebrates the birth of their Lord, but he has no desire to celebrate. All of his friends in the world are dead, and nothing that his brothers and sisters are doing will lighten his mood. Wheel and Mother Axel spoke to him today, expressing concern, but he doesn't expect them to understand. They don't know what it's like to sit in a containment cell, or the small comfort that might come from hearing a piece of familiar music, because they are machines stuck in mechanical ways. They talk of confession and forgiveness, but don't know what it's like to confess to murdering innocent children, while a man behind a glass partition tells you that you can be forgiven. They don't know the joy from teaching a small child how to play chess, or watching her eyes light up as you tell her stories, nor do they know the darkness that can enter a soul when one sees those people die. Alexei knows that there is comfort in the words of God, but this comfort evades him now, and he's not sure if he'll ever find comfort again. 4 years later, Alexei's journal includes various notes about a sermon that he had been assigned to write by high-ranking individuals within the monastery, suggesting not only that he had kept with the faith, but also that he had been promoted in some way within their hierarchy. The final journal entry listed is from 14 years later, in September of 2053. Alexei writes that he has lived a long and painful life, his earliest memories being of mushroom clouds and radioactive rain and cold concrete bunkers. He spent 1/3 of his 95 years fighting a war that he should never have believed in, and another 1/3 in a cell, never seeing sunlight and being tossed children's novels to keep him compliant. It has only been in this last third of his life that he has seen the goddess's light and mercy. He knows that he is a sinner, and what he has done recently will not be enough to earn the goddess's forgiveness, but this doesn't concern him. He has sinned, and will pay for those sins, but he's also blessed because he can see the wicked in humanity and can speak out against it. He writes that each of us are cogs and gears, springs and axles and other mechanisms in her grand mechanism. She has been rebuilt and has departed this world with a promise of return, but she was never truly broken because each of us are part of her. It's not those that don't follow the faith that are doomed, but rather those who would seek to make violence in the world, and those that seek to disassemble the beauty of her grand design. People of all religions are equal in the broken goddess's eyes, as long as they don't seek to hurt her children, all of humanity. Alexei doesn't believe that he has much time left for this world, and he asks his brothers and sisters not to mourn his passing. He would rather that they simply remember that the goddess is most pleased with those who seek kind, non-violent resolutions to their problems, because a machine whose gears grind against each other is a machine that cannot work. He says to seek truth, but also compassion, and signs off as Father Anvil. Alexei, or rather Father Anvil, passed away on October 13th, 2053, and was buried in the graveyard at the Eastern Clockwork Orthodoxy Monastery. There's no doubt that Alexei Belatrov had an extremely unique life, and the point isn't that he ended up joining the Church of the Broken God, or even that he found religion. The point is that he was a man bred for war and violence ever since he was a child, and yet despite everything, still managed to find peace later in life. He was a man haunted by both his actions as well as unavoidable outcomes. And truth be told, if it wasn't for his friendship with an incredibly humane Foundation doctor, he may have ended up rotting in a cell. Funnily enough, the fact that he was a man covered in living bug armor is almost irrelevant in light of his personal story. Not every SCP article has to be about world-ending threats or god-like anomalies. And Alexei is a good example of anomalous humanoids sometimes being heartwarmingly human.
He was good. That was good. That guy was good. I don't know what the church is about, but that was good. I liked it. Oh man, guys, we learned a lot. It is now approaching midnight. I think I'm still a little jet lagged. I've got a busy day tomorrow. But man, you guys put me on. I think we'll do a stream like this again. First, we got to find out if YouTube is okay with it. I'll find out after I finish this stream the results of if there was any copyright issues or anything of that sort. But you guys sent me a lot of ones. I like the slime creature. Was that 1,000? Was that 999? 999 or yeah, I think it was 999 or 1,000. 1,000. Fun times, guys. Thanks for everybody being in the chat. Mr. Blind, Mr. Dr. J, I think just left, but yeah, it's time to call it a night. We do got to work tomorrow, even though my work consists of taking care of... let me zoom in on this real quick. My work is considered taking care of these puppers. I am going to go for a nice dog walk tomorrow again, if you guys see my other previous post. But we got Luna here. We've got... Look at her little mlin tongue. Hold on. Blim, blim, blim. I gotta say, I used to work at a desk job, and taking care of dogs is so much more rewarding. Also, it pays way better than what I used to get paid. So, yeah, guys, it was fun. We'll see you guys next time, and I'll send you this. Yeah, I'll watch that. I think we can do more live screenings and watch things together as long as we're not getting any copyright issues. It should be fine. But, yeah, let's take a look at it. Maybe we can do it like... I'll find a schedule. I'm still trying to figure out a schedule of when I want to stream everything. But tomorrow night, we're going to do Jackbox. So if you guys like to play some games, make sure you join my Discord if you haven't. Dr. J. I'll try to make a whole SCP. I need to make you like a moderator on my Discord too, Kazar, because I need to clean it up, get all the sections down, recreate it, reimagine it. Because when we started that 3-4 years ago, when I first started streaming, I didn't know what I was doing, and I guess I don't know what I'm doing. I got to clean up my YouTube. Got to do a lot of cleaning up and making it nice and more organized. But for the most part, I'm satisfied with what we got going on. I'm glad I got good people, good content. Yeah, I want to do Jackbox. I want to do this stuff because I like paranormal and just fun things. You know, with the way the world's going, we need more of this. So, you guys have a great night. It is now 12:01. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone, seriously, thanks for being a good mod, Kavzar. All right, Dr. J, I know Hub probably left because he wanted Joe Rogan, and, nothing wrong with Joe Rogan. I just don't watch many podcasts. I like shit like this a little bit more. I think it's more original and fun. If I want to talk about things, I'll just smoke up myself and go, hey man, what? 50-foot python? Boom! Anyways, guys, have a good night. I really appreciate all of this. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Good night, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.